Imagine a life where you wake up each day with a sense of calm, no matter what challenges lie ahead. Picture yourself facing stress, uncertainty, and the pressures of modern life with a deep, unshakable inner peace. You handle every obstacle with grace, knowing that nothing outside of you can disturb the tranquility you've built within. This isn't just a dream. It's a way of life that you can achieve by embracing the ancient wisdom of Stoicism. Stoicism isn't about suppressing your emotions or living a life devoid of joy. It's about finding a deeper, more enduring happiness that doesn't rely on external circumstances. It's about cultivating a mindset that allows you to remain calm in the face of adversity, to embrace change with open arms, and to find contentment in the present moment. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded with messages that tell us happiness lies in material possessions, status, or the approval of others. But deep down, we all know that these things offer only temporary satisfaction. True happiness, the kind that lasts, comes from within. It's about learning to navigate life's ups and downs with a sense of peace, purpose, and resilience. This is where the philosophy of Stoicism comes in. Stoicism teaches us that our happiness isn't dependent on what happens to us, but on how we respond to what happens. It's a radical shift in perspective, one that empowers us to take control of our lives by focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. When we master this mindset, we unlock the door to a life filled with deep, lasting happiness. But let's be honest, this isn't always easy. Life can be tough. We face challenges that test our patience, fears that shake our confidence, and moments of despair that make us question our worth. In these moments, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, to lose sight of our goals, and to fall into the trap of negative thinking. But Stoicism provides us with the tools to rise above these challenges, to find strength in our struggles, and to emerge from them stronger than before. The Stoics believed that adversity is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced. They taught that every challenge we face is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become better versions of ourselves. By adopting this mindset, we can transform our struggles into stepping stones on the path to happiness. We can learn to see every difficulty as a chance to practice patience, resilience, and courage. And in doing so, we not only overcome our challenges, we find joy in the process. This journey towards deep happiness begins with a simple but powerful realization. We are in control of our own minds. We may not be able to control what happens around us, but we can always control how we think about it, how we react to it, and how we allow it to affect us. This is the essence of Stoicism, and it's the key to living a fulfilled and contented life. Imagine being able to stay calm in the midst of chaos, to maintain your peace of mind even when everything around you seems to be falling apart. Imagine having the strength to stay true to your values, no matter what pressures you face. This is the power of Stoicism. It gives us the tools to navigate life's challenges with grace and dignity, to find happiness in the here and now, and to build a life that is not just lived, but truly enjoyed. One of the most liberating aspects of Stoicism is its emphasis on acceptance. The Stoics teach us that much of our suffering comes not from the events themselves, but from our resistance to them. We often waste precious energy trying to change things that are beyond our control, fighting against reality instead of accepting it. But when we learn to accept what we cannot change, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. We learn to focus our energy on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, and our attitudes. And in this, we find a profound sense of peace. But acceptance doesn't mean passivity. It doesn't mean giving up or resigning ourselves to a life of mediocrity. On the contrary, Stoicism encourages us to take action, to pursue our goals, and to strive for excellence in all that we do. It teaches us to live with intention, to make the most of every moment, and to find fulfillment in the pursuit of our highest ideals. When we align our actions with our values, we create a life of purpose and meaning, a life that brings us deep and lasting happiness. Another cornerstone of Stoic philosophy is the idea of self-discipline. The Stoics believed that happiness comes not from indulging in fleeting pleasures, but from mastering our desires and cultivating a strong sense of self-control. In a world that often encourages excess and instant gratification, this can be a challenging path to follow. But it's a path that leads to true freedom, the freedom to choose our actions, to live according to our values, and to create a life that is truly our own. Self-discipline isn't about denying ourselves joy. It's about finding joy in the right things. It's about prioritizing what truly matters, making decisions that are aligned with our long-term happiness, and avoiding the traps of short-term thinking. By practicing self-discipline, we build the foundation for a life of deep satisfaction, where our happiness isn't dependent on external circumstances, but rooted in our own inner strength. And then there's the importance of perspective. The Stoics were masters at seeing the bigger picture, at recognizing that our problems are often smaller than we make them out to be. They taught us to view our challenges with a sense of detachment, to step back and see them for what they truly are, temporary and often trivial in the grand scheme of things. This shift in perspective allows us to maintain our calm and composure, even in the face of difficulty. It helps us to keep our focus on what truly matters, and to let go of the things that don't. Ultimately, the Stoic path to happiness is about living in harmony with ourselves and the world around us. It's about embracing our humanity, our strengths, our weaknesses, our joys, and our sorrows, with compassion and understanding. It's about finding contentment in the present moment, regardless of what the future may hold. And it's about creating a life that is not just about surviving, but thriving, even in the face of life's inevitable challenges. As you embark on this journey, remember that the road to deep happiness is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Every step you take towards mastering your mind, every moment of calm you cultivate, and every challenge you overcome will bring you closer to a life of true contentment and peace. Stoicism offers you the tools to build this life, to find joy in the midst of adversity, and to live with a sense of purpose and fulfillment that no external circumstance can take away. This is your journey. Embrace it with courage, with curiosity, and with an open heart. The path to deep happiness is yours to walk, and it begins right here, right now. Imagine standing on the edge of a cliff, the wind whipping around you, the vast expanse of ocean below, churning with power and potential danger. Your heart races, your breath quickens, and for a moment you feel the pull of fear, of anxiety, of the unknown. But then something shifts inside you. You take a deep breath, anchor yourself in the moment, and let the wind and waves be what they are, external forces you cannot control. Instead, you turn your focus inward, finding that steady, unmovable place within you where calm resides. This is the essence of Stoicism, the ability to remain composed and unshaken, no matter what storms rage around you. In our daily lives, we face countless situations that test our composure. Whether it's a difficult conversation with a loved one, an unexpected challenge at work, or a personal setback that seems insurmountable, pressure comes in many forms. Each of these moments presents an opportunity, a chance to practice the art of staying calm under pressure. Stoicism provides us with the tools to not only withstand these pressures, but to thrive in them, turning adversity into a source of strength and wisdom. At the heart of Stoic practice is the concept of focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. This might seem simple, but in practice, it requires a deep and consistent commitment to self-awareness and discipline. When we encounter stress, our natural tendency is often to try to control the situation, to fix things, to make them go the way we want. But Stoicism teaches us that this approach often leads to frustration and additional stress, because it's impossible to control everything in our lives. Instead, we should focus on our internal responses, on how we choose to perceive and react to the events around us. One of the first steps in applying Stoic principles to stay calm under pressure is to cultivate a habit of mindfulness. Mindfulness, in the Stoic sense, is about being fully present in the moment, aware of our thoughts, feelings and surroundings without becoming attached to them. It's about observing our emotions and reactions as they arise, without letting them dictate our actions. This practice of mindful detachment allows us to create a space between stimulus and response, a moment where we can choose how we want to react instead of being swept away by our immediate emotions. For example, imagine you're in a heated argument with someone. Your natural instinct might be to lash out, to defend yourself, or to escalate the conflict. But by practicing mindfulness, you can step back mentally, observe your rising anger, and choose a different path. You might decide to respond with calm words, to listen instead of speaking, or to take a moment to breathe before continuing the conversation. This mindful approach doesn't mean you suppress your emotions. Rather, it allows you to acknowledge them without letting them control you. In this way, you maintain your composure and handle the situation with clarity and calm. Another essential Stoic practice for staying calm under pressure is the art of reframing. Reframing involves changing the way we perceive a situation to alter our emotional response to it. The Stoics believed that it's not events themselves that disturb us, but our interpretations of those events. By consciously choosing to view challenges in a positive light, as opportunities for growth, for example, we can transform stress into something more manageable and even motivating. Let's consider a common stressful situation: receiving negative feedback at work. Our initial reaction might be to feel defensive, hurt, or even angry. But by applying the Stoic principle of reframing, we can view this feedback as a valuable learning experience, an opportunity to improve and grow in our role. This shift in perspective doesn't eliminate the stress entirely, but it changes its nature, making it a constructive force rather than a destructive one. By reframing our challenges, we take control of our narrative, turning potential setbacks into stepping stones on our path to personal development. In addition to reframing, the Stoics placed great importance on the practice of acceptance. Acceptance is about recognizing and embracing the reality of our situation without resistance. This doesn't mean giving up or resigning ourselves to a life of passivity. Rather, it's about acknowledging what is beyond our control and choosing to focus our energy on what we can change. When we accept that certain things are outside our influence, whether it's the behavior of others, the passage of time, or the outcome of certain events, we free ourselves from the unnecessary stress of trying to control the uncontrollable. For instance, imagine you're stuck in traffic on your way to an important meeting. The natural response might be to feel frustrated, anxious, or even panicked. But these emotions do nothing to change the situation. They only add to your stress. By practicing acceptance, you acknowledge that the traffic is beyond your control and focus instead on what you can do. Perhaps use the time to listen to an inspiring podcast, practice deep breathing, or mentally prepare for your meeting. In doing so, you maintain your calm and turn what could have been a stressful situation into a productive and even enjoyable experience. Another powerful Stoic technique for maintaining calm under pressure is the practice of negative visualization. This involves deliberately contemplating potential challenges or setbacks before they occur, not to dwell on negative outcomes, but to prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally for whatever may come. The Stoics believed that by imagining the worst-case scenario, we can reduce the shock and emotional impact if such an event does occur, making it easier to remain calm and composed. For example, if you're about to give a presentation, you might use negative visualization to imagine things going wrong, technical difficulties, a tough question from the audience, or a moment of forgetfulness. By mentally rehearsing how you would handle these challenges with grace and poise, you prepare yourself to stay calm if they do happen. This practice doesn't mean you expect or invite failure, but it equips you with the resilience to handle unexpected pressures with a clear mind. Physical practices also play a crucial role in staying calm under pressure. The Stoics understood the connection between mind and body and recognized that physical well-being is essential to mental resilience. Regular exercise, for example, is not just about maintaining physical health, it's also a way to build mental toughness and stress resistance. When we engage in physical activity, we not only release tension and improve our mood, but we also strengthen our ability to endure discomfort and push through challenges. Deep breathing is another simple yet powerful tool for maintaining calm. When we're under pressure, our breathing often becomes shallow and rapid, which can exacerbate feelings of anxiety and stress. By practicing deep, mindful breathing, we activate the body's relaxation response, slowing our heart rate and calming our nervous system. This technique can be especially useful in high-pressure situations where immediate calm is needed, such as during a difficult conversation or before a big presentation. Stoicism also teaches the importance of maintaining a balanced routine, even in the face of stress. When we're under pressure, it's easy to let healthy habits slip, skipping meals, sacrificing sleep, or neglecting self-care. But these are the very times when it's most important to stick to our routines. By maintaining regular sleep, nutrition, and exercise habits, we keep our bodies and minds in peak condition, better equipped to handle whatever challenges come our way. Another Stoic practice that fosters calm is the deliberate cultivation of gratitude. In moments of pressure, our minds often become fixated on what's going wrong or what we're lacking. But by consciously shifting our focus to what we're grateful for, we can counterbalance these negative thoughts with positive ones. Gratitude helps us keep things in perspective, reminding us of the good in our lives, even when we're facing difficulties. For example, if you're feeling overwhelmed by a heavy workload, you might take a moment to reflect on the aspects of your job that you're thankful for, perhaps the opportunity to grow, the support of your colleagues, or the satisfaction of contributing to a meaningful project. This shift in focus doesn't diminish the challenges you're facing, but it helps to create a more balanced emotional state, making it easier to stay calm and motivated. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of social support in maintaining calm under pressure. While Stoicism encourages self-reliance, it also recognizes that we are social beings who benefit from the support and guidance of others. When we're facing stress, reaching out to trusted friends, mentors, or colleagues can provide us with new perspectives, practical advice, and emotional support. These connections remind us that we're not alone in our struggles and that we have resources to draw upon when times are tough. In addition to seeking support, the Stoics believed in the power of serving others as a way to cultivate calm. When we focus on helping those around us, it shifts our attention away from our own stress and worries. Acts of kindness, generosity, and compassion not only benefit others, but also bring a sense of purpose and fulfillment to our own lives. In the midst of pressure, finding ways to contribute to the well-being of others can provide a powerful antidote to stress and anxiety. Humility is another Stoic virtue that plays a key role in staying calm under pressure. The Stoics taught that much of our stress comes from our ego, our desire to prove ourselves, to be right, or to maintain a certain image. But when we practice humility, we let go of these ego-driven concerns and approach situations with an open mind and a willingness to learn. Humility allows us to admit when we don't have all the answers, to ask for help when needed, and to accept that we are human, with limitations and imperfections. For instance, if you're faced with a difficult decision at work, humility might mean acknowledging that you don't have all the information and seeking input from others. This approach not only reduces the pressure on you to have all the answers, but also fosters a collaborative and supportive environment where everyone's insights are valued. By letting go of the need to be the sole problem solver, you create space for calm, thoughtful decision-making. Another profound Stoic practice is the contemplation of impermanence. The Stoics often reminded themselves that everything in life is temporary, our possessions, our achievements, even our very lives. While this might seem like a somber thought, the Stoics saw it as a way to cultivate deep appreciation for the present moment and to reduce attachment to things that are ultimately beyond our control. By embracing the impermanence of all things, we can approach life's pressures with a sense of perspective, knowing that even the most difficult situations will eventually pass. For example, when faced with a significant challenge, you might remind yourself that this too shall pass, that the stress and difficulty you're experiencing are not permanent. This perspective doesn't diminish the importance of the situation, but it helps to reduce the intensity of your emotional response, allowing you to face the challenge with greater calm and clarity. Finally, self-reflection is a cornerstone of Stoic practice and an essential tool for maintaining calm under pressure. The Stoics believed in the value of regular self-examination, taking time each day to reflect on our thoughts, actions, and experiences. This practice allows us to learn from our mistakes, recognize patterns in our behavior, and develop strategies for handling stress more effectively in the future. Self-reflection can take many forms, from journaling about your day to simply sitting quietly and contemplating your thoughts. The key is to approach this practice with honesty and curiosity, without judgment. By regularly reflecting on how we handle pressure, we can identify areas for improvement, celebrate our progress, and reinforce the habits that help us stay calm and composed. Incorporating these Stoic practices into your daily life takes time and effort, but the rewards are profound. Over time, you'll find that the storms of life no longer shake you as they once did, that you can face pressure with a sense of inner peace and resilience. Each of these practices, mindfulness, reframing, acceptance, negative visualization, physical discipline, gratitude, social support, humility, contemplation of impermanence, and self-reflection, serves as a building block for the calm and composed life that Stoicism promises. As you continue on this journey, remember that the goal isn't to eliminate stress or pressure from your life. That's impossible. Instead, the goal is to transform your relationship with these challenges, to approach them with a calm and steady mind, and to use them as opportunities for growth and self-discovery. By embracing the wisdom of Stoicism, you can create a life where calmness is your default state, where pressure becomes a catalyst for strength, and where true happiness is found not in the absence of challenges, but in your ability to face them with grace and courage. The journey to staying calm under pressure is a lifelong one, but with each step you move closer to that inner stillness that nothing can disturb. It's a path that requires dedication, but it's also one that leads to the profound and lasting happiness that comes from knowing you have the strength to face whatever life may bring. As you practice these Stoic techniques, you'll find that calmness is not just a fleeting state, but a way of being, a way of living that empowers you to thrive, even in the midst of life's most challenging moments. The ability to remain calm under pressure is a powerful skill, one that brings a deep sense of inner peace. But where does this calmness come from? At its core, it is born from a foundation of self-discipline. Without discipline, our efforts to stay calm can easily crumble under the weight of life's challenges. It is discipline that gives us the strength to choose our responses, to maintain control over our emotions, and to stay true to our principles even when the world around us seems to demand otherwise. Self-discipline is not about rigidly controlling every aspect of your life. It's about creating the structure that allows you to thrive. It's about cultivating the inner strength to consistently make choices that align with your values, even when those choices are difficult. Imagine a life where your actions are not dictated by fleeting impulses or external pressures, but by a deep commitment to what you know is right and true. This is the power of self-discipline, a power that can transform your life from one of reactive chaos to one of purposeful calm. As you begin to explore the principles that build unshakable self-discipline, it's important to understand that discipline is not something that is imposed upon you from the outside. It is a quality that is nurtured from within through the consistent application of Stoic principles that guide you towards living with intention and integrity. This journey towards discipline is not about punishing yourself or denying yourself joy. It's about recognizing the profound joy that comes from living a life of purpose and self-control. Self-discipline is the bedrock upon which all other virtues are built. It is what allows you to stay committed to your goals, to persevere in the face of adversity, and to maintain your focus even when distractions abound. Without discipline, even the most well-intentioned plans can falter. But with discipline, you have the power to turn your intentions into reality, to create a life that reflects your highest ideals. The Stoics understood that true freedom comes not from doing whatever we want, but from mastering our desires and impulses. They knew that discipline is the key to unlocking our full potential, to living a life that is not just about surviving, but thriving. Through the consistent practice of Stoic principles, you can cultivate the discipline that will enable you to face life's challenges with confidence, to make decisions with clarity, and to live each day with a sense of purpose and direction. As you delve into these principles, you'll discover that discipline is not about rigidly following rules, but about cultivating habits that align with your true self. It's about making small, consistent choices each day that build towards a life of greater freedom and fulfillment. The journey to unshakable self-discipline is one of self-discovery, of learning what truly matters to you and committing to live in alignment with those values. Discipline is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about recognizing that each moment presents an opportunity to choose how you will live, to decide what kind of person you want to be. Through the principles of Stoicism, you will learn to cultivate the inner strength that allows you to stay the course, even when the path is difficult. You'll find that discipline is not a burden, but a source of deep satisfaction, a key that unlocks the door to a life of true happiness and fulfillment. One of the first steps in building self-discipline is to cultivate awareness. Awareness of your thoughts, your actions, and the choices you make each day. The Stoics believed that self-discipline begins with self-knowledge, the ability to observe yourself without judgment, to understand your motivations, and to recognize the areas where you need to grow. This awareness is not about criticizing yourself or dwelling on your mistakes. It's about gaining insight into your behavior so that you can make more intentional choices. Imagine yourself standing at a crossroads, with each path representing a different choice. One path is easy, familiar, and requires little effort. The other path is more challenging, but it leads to greater rewards. Discipline is the strength to choose the challenging path, knowing that it aligns with your values and brings you closer to your goals. It's the ability to delay gratification, to resist the pull of instant pleasure in favor of long-term fulfillment. Another key principle of Stoic discipline is the practice of setting clear, realistic goals. The Stoics understood that discipline is not about striving for perfection, but about making steady progress towards your goals. It's about setting intentions that are meaningful and achievable, and then committing to the daily actions that will bring those intentions to life. By breaking down your goals into manageable steps, you make it easier to stay disciplined, even when the journey is long and challenging. Self-discipline also involves the practice of self-control, the ability to regulate your emotions and impulses. The Stoics taught that true strength lies not in suppressing your emotions, but in understanding them and choosing how to respond to them. This means recognizing when your emotions are leading you astray and using your reason to guide your actions. It means being mindful of your thoughts and not letting them dictate your behavior without question. Consider the moments when you're tempted to give in to distraction, to procrastinate, or to indulge in behaviors that don't serve your higher purpose. These are the moments when discipline is most needed, and also when it can be most difficult to muster. But by practicing self-control, by reminding yourself of your goals and your values, you can resist these temptations and stay on course. Each time you exercise self-control, you strengthen your discipline, making it easier to stay focused and committed in the future. Stoic discipline is also about cultivating resilience, the ability to persevere in the face of obstacles and setbacks. The Stoics believed that life is full of challenges and that our true character is revealed not in times of ease, but in times of difficulty. Discipline gives you the strength to keep going, even when the path is hard, to push through obstacles and to rise after every fall. It's about developing the mindset that every challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger, to learn more, and to become more resilient. This resilience is not just about enduring hardship, it's about thriving in spite of it. It's about using challenges as fuel for your growth, as opportunities to practice discipline and to prove to yourself that you can handle whatever comes your way. The Stoics knew that life would never be free of challenges, but they also knew that by cultivating discipline, we can face these challenges with a sense of calm and confidence, knowing that we have the strength to overcome them. Discipline also requires consistency, the commitment to show up every day and do the work, even when you don't feel like it. The Stoics emphasized the importance of daily practice, of making discipline a habit rather than a sporadic effort. This means setting routines that support your goals, creating systems that make it easier to stay on track, and holding yourself accountable to your commitments. Consistency is what turns discipline from an effort into a way of life, a part of who you are rather than something you have to force yourself to do. Imagine the satisfaction of looking back on your day, knowing that you stayed true to your commitments, that you acted in accordance with your values, and that you made progress towards your goals. This is the reward of consistency, the knowledge that you are moving steadily towards the life you want to create. It's the sense of pride that comes from knowing you are living with intention, that you are not letting life happen to you, but that you are actively shaping it with each disciplined choice you make. Another important aspect of Stoic discipline is the practice of patience. In a world that often values instant results and quick fixes, the Stoics remind us that true success and fulfillment take time. Discipline is about being patient with yourself and with the process, about recognizing that meaningful change doesn't happen overnight. It's about trusting that your efforts will bear fruit, even if the results are not immediately visible. Patience is what allows you to stay committed to your goals, even when progress seems slow or obstacles appear insurmountable. Patience also involves being kind to yourself in moments of struggle. The Stoics understood that discipline is not about being perfect, it's about making progress, even if that progress is imperfect. When you encounter setbacks, it's easy to become discouraged or to feel like giving up. But discipline means picking yourself up after every fall, learning from your mistakes, and continuing to move forward. It means being patient with yourself, recognizing that growth is a journey, and that each step, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goals. Discipline also involves the practice of detachment, the ability to remain focused on your goals without becoming overly attached to the outcomes. The Stoics taught that while we should strive for excellence in all that we do, we should also recognize that some things are beyond our control. This means doing your best, but not allowing the results to dictate your sense of self-worth or happiness. Detachment allows you to stay disciplined without becoming consumed by anxiety or disappointment when things don't go as planned. By practicing detachment, you free yourself from the pressure to achieve perfection and instead focus on the process, the daily actions that lead to long-term success. This mindset helps you stay disciplined even when the results are slow in coming, because you know that your worth is not determined by external achievements, but by the integrity and effort you bring to your life each day. Detachment also allows you to remain flexible, to adapt your approach when necessary, and to keep moving forward, even in the face of uncertainty. Another key aspect of Stoic discipline is the practice of self-reliance. While the Stoics recognized the importance of community and support, they also believed that true discipline comes from within. This means taking responsibility for your own actions, decisions, and well-being, rather than relying on others to motivate or guide you. Self-reliance is about cultivating the inner strength to stay disciplined, even when external circumstances are challenging or support is lacking. Self-reliance also involves trusting in your own judgment and abilities, knowing that you have the wisdom and strength to make the right choices for yourself. This doesn't mean refusing help or advice when it's needed, but rather it means having the confidence to take charge of your own life and to stay disciplined in the pursuit of your goals. By practicing self-reliance, you develop the resilience and independence that allow you to thrive no matter what challenges you face. As you continue to explore these principles, you'll find that self-discipline is not a rigid set of rules, but a dynamic and empowering way of living. It's about creating a life that is aligned with your values, where each day is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become more of the person you aspire to be. Discipline is the key to unlocking your full potential, to living a life that is not just reactive, but intentional, purposeful, and deeply fulfilling. Through the consistent practice of Stoic principles, you can build the unshakable self-discipline that will carry you through life's challenges with grace and strength. You'll discover that discipline is not something to be feared or resented, but something to be embraced as a source of power and freedom. It's the foundation upon which all other virtues are built, the force that allows you to stay true to your path, no matter what obstacles arise. The journey to unshakable self-discipline is one of continuous growth and learning. It's about making small, deliberate choices each day that align with your highest values and staying committed to those choices, even when the going gets tough. It's about recognizing that discipline is not about denying yourself, but about empowering yourself to live a life of purpose and integrity. As you cultivate discipline in your life, you'll find that it becomes easier to stay calm under pressure, to make decisions with clarity, and to pursue your goals with determination. You'll discover that discipline is not a burden, but a gift, one that gives you the freedom to create the life you truly want, to live with intention, and to find deep and lasting happiness. This is the power of Stoic discipline, a power that is within your reach, waiting to be discovered and nurtured. It's a journey that requires effort, but the rewards are immeasurable. By embracing these principles, You will build the unshakable discipline that will carry you through life's challenges and allow you to thrive in every aspect of your life. As you continue on this path, remember that discipline is not about being perfect. It's about making progress, day by day, choice by choice. Each step you take towards building discipline is a step towards a more fulfilling and empowered life. Embrace this journey with courage, with commitment, and with the knowledge that you have the strength within you to build the life you want to live. Through the practice of Stoic principles, you can create a foundation of unshakable self-discipline that will serve you well, now and for the rest of your life. As you strengthen your self-discipline, you begin to build a foundation that allows you to face life's challenges with confidence and poise. But what happens when the challenges you face are not just difficult tasks, but significant changes, shifts in your life that are beyond your control? How do you maintain your composure when the very ground beneath your feet seems to shift? This is where the Stoic approach to embracing change and uncertainty becomes essential. It's about learning to navigate the unpredictable currents of life with grace, adaptability, and an unwavering sense of purpose. Change, by its very nature, disrupts the familiar. It pulls us out of our comfort zones and forces us to confront the unknown. Whether it's a change in our personal lives, such as a relationship ending or a career transition, or broader societal changes, such as economic shifts or global events, change challenges our sense of security. It's natural to feel fear, anxiety, or even resistance when faced with these disruptions. Yet, the Stoics teach us that change is not only inevitable, but also a vital part of life's journey. They offer us a powerful framework for understanding and embracing change, allowing us to transform our relationship with uncertainty. One of the most profound teachings of Stoicism is the acceptance of impermanence. The Stoics believed that everything in life is transient: our possessions, our relationships, our very existence. This isn't a pessimistic view, but rather a realistic one. By accepting that nothing is permanent, we can learn to appreciate the present moment more fully and to let go of the anxiety that comes from trying to hold on to things that are beyond our control. This acceptance allows us to face change with a sense of peace, knowing that it is a natural part of the cycle of life. Imagine for a moment the waves of the ocean. They rise and fall, constantly in motion, never staying the same for long. Trying to resist this natural ebb and flow would be futile. The waves will continue to move, regardless of our wishes. Life is much the same. It is constantly changing, and no amount of resistance will stop it. By accepting this, we can stop wasting energy fighting against the inevitable and instead learn to ride the waves of change, adapting and growing with each new experience. Acceptance of impermanence also helps us to appreciate the value of what we have while we have it. When we recognize that everything is temporary, we can learn to cherish our experiences, our relationships, and our achievements without becoming overly attached to them. This detachment doesn't mean indifference. It means appreciating things in their proper context, understanding that their impermanence is part of what makes them valuable. When change does come, we can let go with grace, knowing that we've fully experienced and appreciated what we had. But acceptance alone is not enough. It must be paired with adaptability. The Stoics taught that flexibility in thought and action is key to thriving in an ever-changing world. When faced with new circumstances, we have a choice. We can resist and cling to the past, or we can adapt and move forward. Adaptability is about being open to new possibilities, willing to adjust our approach when necessary, and able to find new ways to achieve our goals even when the path changes. For example, imagine you've spent years building a career in a particular field, only to find that industry changes or personal circumstances force you to pivot. This can be a daunting prospect, but adaptability allows you to see this as an opportunity rather than a setback. Perhaps this change opens the door to new passions, new skills, or new ways to contribute to the world. By staying flexible and open-minded, you can navigate the transition with confidence, knowing that your value isn't tied to a specific role or identity, but to your ability to grow and evolve. Adaptability also requires us to challenge our assumptions and be willing to let go of outdated beliefs or practices. The Stoics believed that wisdom comes from continuously learning and evolving. When the world around us changes, our ability to adapt depends on our willingness to question what we think we know and to embrace new perspectives. This might mean learning new skills, adopting new technologies, or re-evaluating our priorities. The more adaptable we are, the more resilient we become, able to thrive in a world that is constantly in flux. One of the most powerful tools for embracing change is the practice of negative visualization, a Stoic technique that involves imagining the worst-case scenario. This might seem counterintuitive, but the purpose isn't to dwell on negativity. Rather, it's to prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally for whatever might come. By considering the possibility of loss, failure, or hardship, we reduce the shock if these things do occur, making it easier to respond with calm and resilience. For instance, if you're facing a major life decision, you might practice negative visualization by considering what would happen if things didn't go as planned. How would you cope if you lost your job? How would you handle a relationship ending? By confronting these possibilities in your mind, you not only prepare yourself for the potential outcomes, but also realize that you have the strength and resources to handle them. This practice helps to diminish the fear of change, allowing you to embrace uncertainty with a greater sense of confidence. Another key principle in embracing change is detachment. The Stoics believed that much of our suffering comes from our attachment to things, whether it's material possessions, relationships, or even specific outcomes. When we become attached, we tie our happiness and sense of self-worth to external factors that are often beyond our control. Detachment, however, allows us to remain grounded, even as the world around us shifts. Detachment doesn't mean not caring or being indifferent. Instead, it's about recognizing that while we can care deeply about things, our happiness and sense of peace don't have to depend on them. This mindset allows us to engage fully with life without being consumed by fear or anxiety when things change. For example, you might be deeply invested in a project at work, but if circumstances change and the project doesn't succeed, detachment allows you to accept this outcome without it affecting your self-worth or overall sense of happiness. You can acknowledge the disappointment, learn from the experience, and move forward without lingering attachment. Another important aspect of Stoic wisdom is the concept of living in accordance with nature. For the Stoics, this meant aligning oneself with the natural order of the world, understanding that change and uncertainty are inherent aspects of life. By accepting this natural flow, we can stop resisting the inevitable and instead focus on how we can best navigate these changes. This perspective encourages us to work with the forces of nature rather than against them, finding harmony in the midst of change. Living in accordance with nature also means recognizing that change is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced as a vital part of our growth. Just as a tree sheds its leaves in the fall to make way for new growth in the spring, we too must be willing to let go of the old to make room for the new. This might mean letting go of outdated habits, beliefs, or relationships that no longer serve us, and being open to the new opportunities that change can bring. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of focusing on what we can control. In a world filled with uncertainty, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the vast number of things that are beyond our control. But the Stoics remind us that our power lies in our ability to control our own thoughts, actions, and attitudes. By focusing on these internal factors, we can navigate external changes with greater ease and confidence. For example, if you're faced with a significant life change, such as a health challenge or a financial setback, the Stoic approach would be to focus on what you can do in response to this situation. Perhaps you can take steps to improve your health, seek support from others, or develop a plan to rebuild your finances. By focusing on these actions, you regain a sense of agency and control, even in the face of uncertainty. This focus on what we can control also extends to our mindset. The Stoics believed that our thoughts shape our reality, and that by choosing to cultivate a positive and resilient mindset, we can better handle whatever life throws our way. This doesn't mean ignoring the challenges or pretending that everything is fine when it's not, but rather it means choosing to approach challenges with a sense of curiosity, openness, and determination. By doing so, we turn obstacles into opportunities and use change as a catalyst for growth. Gratitude is another powerful Stoic practice that can help us embrace change and uncertainty. When we focus on what we're grateful for, we shift our perspective away from what's lacking or what's uncertain, and towards what is positive and stable in our lives. This practice helps to ground us in the present moment and to approach change with a sense of appreciation rather than fear. For example, if you're going through a difficult transition, you might take time each day to reflect on the things you're grateful for, perhaps the support of loved ones, the opportunities for growth, or the lessons you're learning through the experience. This focus on gratitude helps to create a sense of balance and perspective, allowing you to navigate change with a more positive and resilient mindset. Another key Stoic principle is the idea of community. While Stoicism emphasizes self-reliance and inner strength, it also recognizes the importance of connection and support. In times of change, our relationships with others can provide us with the support, guidance, and perspective we need to navigate uncertainty. By reaching out to others, sharing our experiences, and offering support in return, we strengthen the bonds that help us to weather life's storms. Community also helps to remind us that we're not alone in our struggles. When we connect with others who are going through similar changes or challenges, we gain a sense of solidarity and shared purpose. This connection can provide us with the strength and resilience we need to face change with confidence and hope. Reflection is another important Stoic practice that can help us embrace change. By regularly reflecting on our experiences, we gain insight into the lessons that change brings and develop a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. This reflective practice allows us to see the bigger picture and to find meaning in even the most challenging transitions. For example, if you're going through a major life change, such as a career transition or a personal loss, taking time to reflect on the experience can help you to process your emotions, gain clarity on what the change means for you, and identify the opportunities for growth that it presents. This reflection helps to transform change from something to be feared into something to be explored and embraced. The Stoics also taught that one of the most powerful ways to embrace change is to cultivate a mindset of resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to adapt to new circumstances, and to continue moving forward, even in the face of adversity. It's about developing the inner strength to not only survive change, but to thrive in it, to use it as a catalyst for growth and transformation. Resilience is not something you're born with. It's something you develop through practice and experience. The Stoics believed that every challenge, every change, is an opportunity to build resilience, to strengthen your character, and to deepen your understanding of yourself and the world around you. By approaching change with a mindset of resilience, You not only overcome the challenges that come your way, but you also emerge from them stronger, wiser, and more capable of facing whatever the future holds. This journey of embracing change and uncertainty is not one that can be completed overnight. It requires ongoing practice, patience, and a willingness to learn and grow. But with each step you take, you'll find that the fear and anxiety that once accompanied change begin to fade, replaced by a sense of calm and confidence. You'll discover that change is not something to be feared or resisted, but something to be welcomed as a natural and necessary part of life's journey. Through the principles of Stoicism, you can learn to navigate change with grace and confidence, to see it as an essential part of your growth and development, and to use it as an opportunity to deepen your understanding of yourself and the world around you. By embracing change, you free yourself from the fear of the unknown, and you open yourself up to the limitless possibilities that life has to offer. As you continue on your journey, remember that change is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced. It is through change that we grow, that we learn, and that we become the people we are meant to be. By embracing change with the wisdom of the Stoics, you will find that you are more capable, more resilient, and more empowered than you ever imagined. And as you continue on this path, you will find that the uncertainties of life no longer hold you back, but propel you forward into a future that is rich with potential and promise. In the end, embracing change is about trusting in your own strength and wisdom. It's about knowing that no matter what happens, you have the ability to adapt, to grow, and to thrive. Through the teachings of Stoicism, you can cultivate the mindset and the skills that will allow you to navigate life's changes with confidence and grace, and to find meaning and purpose in every experience. By embracing change, you will discover a life that is full of possibility, a life that is rich with the potential for growth, and a life that is truly worth living. As you navigate the changes and uncertainties in life with resilience and adaptability, there's one powerful tool that can anchor you each day, providing clarity and purpose no matter what the world throws your way. It's not a grand gesture or a monumental shift, but rather a simple, consistent practice that has the potential to transform how you live each day, your morning routine. Imagine waking up each day not with a sense of dread or hurried anxiety, but with a deep, calm focus on what truly matters, grounded in clarity and directed by purpose. This is the gift that a well-crafted morning ritual, rooted in Stoic principles, can offer you. Morning rituals are more than just a series of tasks. They are a way to set the tone for your entire day. The first moments after waking up are crucial. They are when your mind is most receptive, most open to being shaped and guided. What you do in these moments can either set you on a path of distraction and chaos, or lead you to a day filled with focus, purpose, and peace. The Stoics understood this well, and they practiced morning rituals that not only prepared them for the challenges of the day, but also reinforced their commitment to living a life of virtue and wisdom. Imagine for a moment the power of starting your day with intention. Instead of rushing out of bed, your mind already cluttered with worries and tasks, you take a moment to breathe, to center yourself, and to remember why you do what you do. This simple act can change everything. It's not just about being productive. It's about aligning your actions with your values, about ensuring that each step you take throughout the day is purposeful and meaningful. This is where the true power of morning rituals lies. They give you the clarity to see what truly matters and the strength to act on it. The first step in crafting a morning ritual that fosters mental clarity and purpose is to begin with stillness. The Stoics often emphasized the importance of starting the day with a moment of quiet reflection. This isn't just about sitting in silence. It's about creating a space where you can connect with your inner self before the demands of the day begin to pull you in different directions. In this stillness, you can take a few deep breaths, calm your mind, and set your intention for the day. This practice helps to clear away the mental fog that often accompanies waking and allows you to approach the day with a clear mind. As you sit in this stillness, consider the importance of gratitude. The Stoics believed that beginning the day with gratitude helps to shift your focus away from what you lack and towards what you have. It's a practice that grounds you in the present moment and fosters a sense of contentment and peace. As you reflect on what you're grateful for, you create a mental foundation of positivity that will carry you through the challenges of the day. Gratitude isn't just a feel-good exercise, it's a powerful tool for mental clarity, helping you to prioritize what truly matters and to approach the day with a sense of abundance rather than scarcity. Once you've grounded yourself in stillness and gratitude, it's time to consider your goals for the day. The Stoics were firm believers in the importance of setting clear, purposeful goals. These goals aren't just about ticking off tasks on a to-do list. They're about aligning your daily actions with your larger values and long-term aspirations. By taking a few moments each morning to reflect on what you want to achieve, you give yourself direction and focus. This practice helps to eliminate the mental clutter that comes from trying to juggle too many things at once, and instead allows you to concentrate on what truly matters. As you think about your goals, it's important to consider not just what you want to do, but how you want to do it. The Stoics placed a strong emphasis on the quality of your actions, on doing things with excellence and integrity, no matter how small the task. This mindset can transform even the most mundane activities into opportunities for growth and self-improvement. By setting an intention each morning to approach your day with excellence, you elevate your actions from mere tasks to expressions of your highest values. This commitment to excellence not only enhances your focus, but also gives you a sense of purpose that carries you through the day. Another powerful aspect of a Stoic morning ritual is the practice of visualization. The Stoics believed that by mentally rehearsing the day ahead, you could better prepare yourself for the challenges you might face. This isn't about worrying or imagining worst-case scenarios. It's about calmly and clearly envisioning how you will handle the events of the day with wisdom and composure. As you visualize your day, consider how you will respond to challenges, how you will maintain your focus, and how you will stay true to your values. This practice of visualization helps to solidify your intentions and reinforces your commitment to living in accordance with Stoic principles. In addition to visualization, the Stoics also practiced negative visualization, a technique where you imagine potential difficulties or losses that could occur during the day. This might seem counterproductive, but the purpose is not to dwell on negativity, but to build resilience. By mentally preparing for challenges, you reduce their emotional impact when they occur, allowing you to face them with greater calm and clarity. Negative visualization helps you to stay grounded, to remember that setbacks are a natural part of life, and to approach them with a sense of acceptance and preparedness. After setting your intentions and visualizing your day, it's important to engage in some form of physical activity. The Stoics believed in the connection between mind and body and understood that physical well-being is essential for mental clarity. Whether it's a full workout, a simple stretch, or a walk in nature, engaging in physical activity in the morning helps to energize your body and clear your mind. It's a way of preparing not just mentally, but physically for the day ahead, ensuring that you have the strength and vitality to meet whatever challenges come your way. As you move your body, you also have an opportunity to practice mindfulness. Mindful movement, whether it's through yoga, tai chi, or simply being fully present during your morning walk, helps to anchor you in the present moment. This mindfulness practice enhances your mental clarity by quieting the mental chatter and bringing your focus back to the here and now. It's a way of training your mind to stay focused throughout the day, making it easier to maintain clarity and purpose even when distractions arise. Another key element of a Stoic morning ritual is the practice of journaling. The Stoics, including the great philosopher Marcus Aurelius, were known to keep journals where they reflected on their thoughts, actions, and goals. Journaling in the morning allows you to clear your mind, to process any lingering emotions or concerns, and to articulate your intentions for the day. It's a practice that fosters self-awareness and helps you to align your actions with your values. By taking a few moments each morning to write down your thoughts, you create a space for reflection and clarity, setting a strong mental foundation for the day ahead. In addition to journaling, reading or listening to Stoic wisdom can be a powerful way to start your day. Whether it's reading a passage from Marcus Aurelius's Meditations or listening to a podcast on Stoic philosophy, engaging with Stoic teachings in the morning helps to reinforce your commitment to living according to these principles. It's a way of reminding yourself of the values you want to embody and the mindset you want to cultivate. This practice not only deepens your understanding of Stoicism, but also provides you with practical guidance for navigating the challenges of the day. As you conclude your morning ritual, it's important to take a moment to affirm your commitment to living with purpose and clarity. The Stoics believed in the power of daily affirmations, statements that reinforce your intentions and values. By repeating a simple affirmation each morning, such as, "I am focused, I am calm, I am purposeful," you set a positive tone for the day and strengthen your resolve to live in accordance with your highest ideals. This practice of affirmation helps to anchor your morning ritual and serves as a reminder of the mindset you want to carry with you throughout the day. One of the most significant benefits of a well-crafted morning ritual is that it creates a sense of continuity and stability, even in the midst of change and uncertainty. When you start your day with intention, you are better equipped to handle whatever comes your way. You approach each day not as a series of tasks to be completed, but as an opportunity to live with purpose and integrity. This mindset shift transforms the way you experience your day, making it easier to stay focused, calm, and clear-minded, no matter what challenges arise. As you go through your morning ritual, it's also important to remember the Stoic principle of living in accordance with nature. This means recognizing that each day is a new opportunity to align your actions with the natural order of things, to live in harmony with yourself and the world around you. Your morning ritual is a way of grounding yourself in this natural rhythm, of connecting with the deeper purpose that guides your life. By starting each day with this sense of alignment, you create a foundation of clarity and purpose that carries you through the day. Another key aspect of creating a morning ritual is consistency. The Stoics believed that true mastery comes from consistent practice. It's not enough to have a morning ritual that you follow sporadically. It needs to be a daily practice that you commit to, regardless of how you feel. This consistency is what builds the mental clarity and purpose that you seek. By making your morning ritual a non-negotiable part of your day, you create a powerful habit that reinforces your commitment to living according to Stoic principles. Consistency also means being flexible and adaptable. Life is unpredictable, and there will be days when your morning doesn't go as planned. The key is to remain committed to your ritual, even if it means adjusting it to fit your circumstances. Whether it's shortening your practice on a busy day or finding creative ways to incorporate it into your morning routine, staying consistent is what matters. This adaptability ensures that your morning ritual remains a source of stability and clarity, even in the midst of change. One of the most powerful aspects of a morning ritual is the way it fosters self-discipline. By committing to a daily practice, you strengthen your ability to make choices that align with your values and goals. This self-discipline extends beyond your morning ritual and into every aspect of your life, helping you to maintain clarity and purpose throughout the day. The Stoics believed that self-discipline is the foundation of a virtuous life, and your morning ritual is a way of cultivating this essential quality each day. As you practice your morning ritual, you'll begin to notice the cumulative effects on your mental clarity and sense of purpose. Each day, you build on the previous day's practice, creating a strong foundation that supports you in living with intention and focus. Over time, you'll find that your morning ritual becomes not just a way to start your day, but a way to shape your entire life. It becomes a source of strength, clarity, and purpose that guides you through the ups and downs of life, helping you to stay true to your values and to live with a sense of meaning and fulfillment. Your morning ritual is also a time to reconnect with your inner self, to check in with how you're feeling, and to ensure that your actions are aligned with your true purpose. This practice of self-reflection is essential for maintaining mental clarity and purpose. It allows you to course-correct if you've strayed from your path and to reaffirm your commitment to living according to your highest ideals. By taking this time each morning to connect with yourself, you ensure that your day is guided by clarity and purpose, rather than by external pressures or distractions. Finally, it's important to remember that your morning ritual is not just about preparing for the day ahead, but about creating a life that is aligned with your deepest values and aspirations. It's about setting the tone for how you want to live, not just today, but every day. By committing to a morning ritual that fosters mental clarity and purpose, you are making a powerful statement about who you are and what you stand for. You are choosing to live with intention, to prioritize what truly matters, and to create a life that is rich with meaning and fulfillment. As you continue to practice and refine your morning ritual, you'll find that it becomes an essential part of your daily life, a source of strength and clarity that you can rely on no matter what challenges you face. This ritual is your anchor in a changing world, a way to ensure that you remain focused, calm, and purposeful, even in the midst of uncertainty. It is a practice that not only sets the tone for your day, but shapes the course of your life, helping you to live in alignment with your values and to achieve your highest potential. By embracing the wisdom of Stoic morning rituals, you can create a life that is guided by clarity, purpose, and inner peace. Each morning, you have the opportunity to renew your commitment to living with intention, to start your day with a clear mind and a focused heart, and to carry that sense of purpose with you throughout the day. Through these rituals, you will find that your days are not just filled with activity, but with meaning, that your actions are not just tasks to be completed, but expressions of your highest ideals. This is the power of a morning ritual rooted in Stoic wisdom, a power that can transform not only your day, but your entire life. As you carry the clarity and purpose of your morning rituals into your day, a new realization begins to emerge. Happiness, as many of us have been taught to pursue it, often feels elusive. The more we chase after it, the more it seems to slip through our fingers, like sand pouring from a clenched fist. This relentless pursuit, driven by a culture that equates happiness with success, status, or material wealth, often leaves us feeling more empty than fulfilled. What if, instead of chasing happiness as if it were a distant, fleeting goal, you could find contentment right here, in this moment, without forcing it? The Stoics offer us a powerful antidote to the modern obsession with forced happiness. They teach us that contentment isn't something to be pursued or captured, but something to be cultivated internally. This shift in perspective is profound. It challenges the very foundation of how we approach our lives, our desires, and our expectations. Instead of striving for a happiness that depends on external circumstances that are often beyond our control, the Stoics invite us to look within, to find contentment in the simplicity of the present moment and the alignment of our actions with our values. One of the key principles of Stoicism that leads to contentment is the understanding that our emotions and reactions are within our control, even if external events are not. This distinction between what we can control and what we cannot is fundamental to Stoic philosophy. It liberates us from the futile struggle of trying to manipulate the world around us to fit our desires, and instead focuses our energy on shaping our inner world. When we stop trying to force the external world to conform to our idea of happiness, we begin to find contentment in our ability to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. Imagine, for example, the frustration that arises when we encounter traffic on the way to an important meeting. The traffic is out of our control, and yet it's easy to feel stressed, angry, or anxious as we watch the minutes tick by. The Stoic approach to such a situation would be to recognize that while we cannot control the traffic, we can control our response to it. Instead of allowing the external circumstance to dictate our emotional state, we can choose to remain calm, to accept the situation as it is, and to use the time in a way that aligns with our values, perhaps by practicing mindfulness, listening to an inspiring podcast, or simply reflecting on our goals. This practice of focusing on what we can control is not about suppressing our emotions or denying the reality of difficult situations. Rather, it's about empowering ourselves to respond to life in a way that fosters peace and contentment, regardless of external circumstances. By letting go of the need to force a specific outcome, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress and open the door to a deeper, more sustainable form of happiness, one that is rooted in our own inner strength and wisdom. Another essential Stoic practice that contributes to contentment is the cultivation of a minimalist mindset, not just in the material sense, but also in terms of our desires and expectations. The Stoics believed that much of our unhappiness comes from wanting more than we need, from the endless pursuit of wealth, status, or pleasure. This pursuit often leads to a cycle of desire, acquisition, and dissatisfaction, as each new achievement or possession quickly loses its luster, leaving us craving the next thing. Stoic minimalism isn't about renouncing all worldly goods or pleasures, but about understanding that true contentment comes from appreciating what we already have and from simplifying our desires. It's about recognizing that our worth and happiness are not dependent on external things, but on our ability to live in harmony with our values. By focusing on what is essential, both in terms of material possessions and in our aspirations, we reduce the noise and clutter that can cloud our minds and distract us from what truly matters. Consider the difference between a life spent constantly striving for more, a bigger house, a higher salary, more recognition, and a life where you consciously choose to focus on what is truly important to you. The former is often marked by a sense of restlessness, as each new achievement or acquisition quickly gives way to the next desire. The latter, however, is characterized by a deep sense of peace and satisfaction, as you learn to appreciate the present moment and the abundance that already exists in your life. This minimalist mindset extends to our relationships, our work, and even our thoughts. The Stoics encourage us to strip away the excess, to focus on the quality rather than the quantity of our experiences. By doing so, we create space for contentment to flourish, as we are no longer burdened by the constant pressure to achieve more, to have more, to be more. Instead, we find fulfillment in the simplicity of living according to our values, in the joy of meaningful connections, and in the satisfaction of doing our best in whatever we undertake. Another important aspect of Stoic philosophy that fosters contentment is the practice of amor fati, or love of fate. This principle invites us to embrace everything that happens in our lives, both good and bad, as necessary and meaningful parts of our journey. Instead of resisting or lamenting the challenges and setbacks we face, amor fati encourages us to see them as opportunities for growth, learning, and self-discovery. This mindset shift allows us to find contentment even in the midst of difficulty, as we come to understand that every experience, no matter how painful, contributes to our personal evolution. Imagine facing a significant challenge, such as a job loss or the end of a relationship. It's natural to feel sadness, anger, or frustration in such situations, and the Stoics do not suggest that we should deny these emotions. However, amor fati teaches us to go beyond these initial reactions, to look for the lessons and opportunities that such challenges present. By embracing our fate, by loving it even, we transform our relationship with life's difficulties, finding contentment not in the absence of adversity, but in our ability to navigate it with wisdom and grace. This acceptance of fate is not about passivity or resignation. It's about active engagement with life. It's about recognizing that while we cannot control everything that happens to us, we can control how we respond. By choosing to respond with acceptance and love, we find a sense of peace that is not dependent on external circumstances, but is rooted in our own inner strength. This is the essence of Stoic contentment, the ability to remain centered and at peace, no matter what life brings. Gratitude, another cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, plays a crucial role in cultivating contentment. The Stoics understood that by focusing on what we are grateful for, we shift our attention away from what we lack or what we wish were different, and towards the abundance that already exists in our lives. This practice of gratitude helps to counteract the constant striving for more that so often disrupts our peace of mind, and instead fosters a deep sense of appreciation and contentment. Consider the power of starting each day with a gratitude practice where you take a few moments to reflect on the people, experiences, and things in your life that you are thankful for. This simple act can transform your entire outlook, helping you to approach the day with a sense of abundance rather than scarcity. Gratitude reminds you that even in difficult times, there is always something to be thankful for, something that brings a sense of peace and contentment. By regularly practicing gratitude, you cultivate a mindset that is more resilient, more appreciative, and more content, no matter what life brings. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of living in accordance with nature, which means understanding and accepting the natural flow of life, including its inherent unpredictability. When we align ourselves with this natural order, we stop resisting the inevitable changes and challenges that life presents. Instead, we learn to move with the current, to adapt and grow with each new experience. This acceptance of life's natural rhythms allows us to find contentment in the present moment, without the need to force happiness or control every outcome. Living in accordance with nature also means recognizing the impermanence of all things, our possessions, our relationships, our very lives. The Stoics taught that by embracing this impermanence, we free ourselves from the fear of loss and the pressure to hold on to things that are beyond our control. This doesn't mean we should become indifferent or detached, but rather that we should appreciate the present moment fully, knowing that it is temporary. By cultivating this awareness of impermanence, we learn to find contentment in the here and now, rather than constantly striving for a future that may never come. Another practice that helps to cultivate contentment is the Stoic principle of self-reflection. The Stoics believed that regular reflection on our thoughts, actions, and desires is essential for living a virtuous and content life. By taking the time to reflect on what truly brings us peace and fulfillment, we can identify where we might be forcing happiness and where we might be overlooking the simple contentment that is already available to us. Self-reflection helps us to clarify our priorities, to recognize when we are being driven by external pressures or societal expectations, and to return to the core principles that guide our lives. It's a practice that fosters greater self-awareness and helps us to make more intentional choices that lead to lasting contentment. Through regular reflection, we can identify the areas where we are forcing happiness and instead focus on cultivating the inner peace that comes from living in alignment with our true selves. For example, you might take a few moments each evening to reflect on your day, what brought you joy, what caused you stress, and how you responded to the events that unfolded. This practice of reflection allows you to learn from your experiences, to recognize patterns that may be hindering your contentment, and to make adjustments as needed. It's a way of staying connected to your inner self and ensuring that your actions align with your values. Over time, this practice of self-reflection helps to deepen your sense of contentment as you become more attuned to what truly matters to you. The Stoics also teach us that contentment comes from living in accordance with our values. When our actions align with our principles, we experience a deep sense of integrity and fulfillment that transcends the fleeting happiness of external achievements. This alignment between our values and our actions is the foundation of true contentment. It's not about forcing ourselves to be happy by chasing after external rewards, but about finding peace in the knowledge that we are living authentically and true to ourselves. For example, if one of your core values is kindness, then living in accordance with this value, whether through small acts of compassion or by contributing to a cause you believe in, brings a sense of contentment that is not dependent on external recognition or reward. It's the quiet satisfaction that comes from knowing you are living in alignment with what matters most to you. This value-based contentment is sustainable because it is rooted in who you are, rather than in what you achieve or acquire. Another key element of Stoic contentment is the practice of detachment. The Stoics believed that much of our suffering comes from our attachment to things, whether it's material possessions, relationships, or even specific outcomes. When we become attached, we tie our happiness and sense of self-worth to external factors that are often beyond our control. Detachment, however, allows us to remain grounded, even as the world around us shifts. Detachment doesn't mean not caring or being indifferent. Instead, it's about recognizing that while we can care deeply about things, our happiness and sense of peace don't have to depend on them. This mindset allows us to engage fully with life without being consumed by fear or anxiety when things change. For example, you might be deeply invested in a project at work, but if circumstances change and the project doesn't succeed, detachment allows you to accept this outcome without it affecting your self-worth or overall sense of happiness. You can acknowledge the disappointment, learn from the experience, and move forward without lingering attachment. Detachment also involves letting go of the need to control everything in our lives. The Stoics teach us that true contentment comes not from manipulating our circumstances to fit our desires, but from accepting life as it is and finding peace within ourselves. This doesn't mean we shouldn't strive for improvement or work towards our goals, but it does mean recognizing that our happiness is not dependent on achieving a specific outcome. By letting go of the need for control, we free ourselves from the stress and anxiety that come from trying to force life to be a certain way, and instead, we open ourselves up to the possibility of finding contentment in the present moment. As you continue to explore the teachings of Stoicism, you'll discover that contentment is not something you need to strive for or force into existence. It's something that naturally arises when you live in accordance with your values, when you focus on what you can control, and when you embrace life's challenges with grace and acceptance. By letting go of the need to force happiness, you open yourself up to the deeper, more lasting contentment that comes from living a life of purpose, integrity, and peace. This journey towards contentment is one that requires patience, practice, and self-compassion. It's about recognizing that true happiness is not found in the external world, but within ourselves. It's about learning to appreciate the present moment, to find joy in the simple things, and to live each day with a sense of gratitude and purpose. Through the wisdom of Stoicism, you can learn to stop forcing happiness and instead cultivate the contentment that comes from living in harmony with yourself and the world around you. As you continue on this path, remember that contentment is not about settling for less or giving up on your dreams. It's about finding peace in the journey, embracing the challenges and opportunities that come your way, and living with a sense of purpose and integrity. By practicing the principles of Stoicism, you can create a life that is not only rich in happiness, but also in meaning and fulfillment. A life where contentment is not something you chase, but something you cultivate every day. In the end, embracing Stoic contentment is about learning to live in the present, to appreciate what you have, and to let go of the constant striving for more that so often disrupts our peace of mind. It's about finding joy in the simple things, in the quiet moments of reflection, in the satisfaction of living according to your values. By cultivating contentment through the principles of Stoicism, you can create a life that is grounded in peace, purpose, and fulfillment. A life where happiness is not something you force, but something that naturally arises from within. As you embrace the Stoic philosophy of finding contentment within and living in harmony with your values, you might begin to notice something else: how easily we can be led astray from this path by common pitfalls. These mistakes are often subtle, creeping into our lives under the guise of habits or beliefs that seem harmless or even beneficial at first. Yet, they can slowly erode the foundation of contentment, wisdom, and purpose that you've worked so hard to build. Recognizing and avoiding these pitfalls is crucial if you want to continue living a life guided by Stoic principles. Imagine setting out on a journey with a clear destination in mind, equipped with everything you need to reach your goal. But along the way, distractions tempt you to take detours, shortcuts, or even turn back entirely. Some of these distractions may appear attractive or easier in the moment, but ultimately they lead you away from your intended path, causing delays, frustrations, and even regrets. In the journey of life, these distractions and detours often come in the form of common mistakes, errors in judgment, perspective, or action that can derail your progress and undermine your well-being. The Stoics, with their deep understanding of human nature and the challenges we face, offer timeless advice on how to navigate these pitfalls. By drawing on their wisdom, you can learn to identify these common mistakes before they take root in your life and avoid the unnecessary suffering they bring. This is not about striving for perfection, but about maintaining awareness and making choices that align with your highest values and long-term goals. One of the most common mistakes people make is allowing themselves to be consumed by negative emotions. Anger, envy, resentment. These emotions can quickly take hold and cloud your judgment, leading to actions that you later regret. The Stoics taught that while emotions are natural, they should not be allowed to control us. Instead, we should strive to observe our emotions with detachment, understanding their causes, and choosing our responses with reason and wisdom. When you let anger or envy dictate your actions, you lose control over your life, allowing external circumstances and the behavior of others to dictate your inner state. Imagine a situation where someone wrongs you. Perhaps a colleague undermines you at work, or a friend betrays your trust. Your immediate reaction might be anger or a desire for revenge. But acting on these emotions can lead to further conflict and damage relationships that are important to you. The Stoic approach would be to take a step back, to examine the situation objectively, and to choose a response that aligns with your values, such as forgiveness, understanding, or even silence. By doing so, you maintain control over your inner state and avoid the mistake of letting negative emotions dictate your actions. Another common mistake is the tendency to focus on external validation rather than internal fulfillment. In a world where social media, career achievements, and material possessions are often equated with success, it's easy to fall into the trap of seeking approval and recognition from others. But the Stoics remind us that true contentment comes from within, from living in accordance with our values and principles, rather than from the fleeting praise or admiration of others. When you prioritize external validation over internal fulfillment, you give away your power, allowing others to determine your worth and happiness. Consider how much time and energy we often invest in trying to impress others, whether it's through our appearance, our achievements, or our lifestyle. This quest for validation can be exhausting, and it often leads to feelings of inadequacy, as there will always be someone with more, doing better, or receiving more recognition. The Stoic approach is to focus on living authentically, to seek fulfillment in the quality of your actions and the integrity of your choices, rather than in the opinions of others. By doing so, you avoid the mistake of chasing after external approval and instead find peace and contentment within yourself. A third mistake that many people make is the failure to prioritize what truly matters. In the busyness of daily life, it's easy to get caught up in the demands of work, social obligations, and other responsibilities, losing sight of the things that are most important to you. The Stoics emphasized the importance of living with intention, of regularly reflecting on your values and goals to ensure that your actions align with them. When you fail to prioritize what matters most, you risk spending your time and energy on things that bring little lasting fulfillment, leading to a sense of emptiness or regret. Imagine reaching the end of a week, a month, or even a year, only to realize that you've spent most of your time on tasks that didn't contribute to your personal growth, your relationships, or your well-being. The Stoic practice of regular self-reflection helps you avoid this mistake by encouraging you to check in with yourself regularly, to ask whether you're living in alignment with your values and whether you're dedicating your time to what truly matters. By prioritizing what is most important, you create a life that is rich in meaning and purpose, rather than one that is filled with distractions and trivial pursuits. Another significant pitfall is the tendency to resist change and cling to the past. Change is a natural and inevitable part of life, yet many people struggle to accept it, often holding on to what is familiar, even when it no longer serves them. The Stoics taught that embracing change is essential for growth and fulfillment. When you resist change, you limit your potential and create unnecessary suffering by trying to hold on to something that is no longer meant to be. By accepting the impermanence of life and remaining open to new possibilities, you can avoid the mistake of clinging to the past and instead move forward with grace and resilience. Consider a time when you faced a significant change, perhaps a career transition, a move to a new city, or the end of a relationship. The initial instinct might have been to resist the change, to hold on to what was familiar and comfortable. But over time, you may have come to realize that this change brought new opportunities, growth, and experiences that you wouldn't have encountered otherwise. The Stoics encourage us to approach change with curiosity and acceptance, seeing it as a natural part of life's journey rather than something to be feared. By embracing change, You open yourself up to new possibilities and avoid the mistake of staying stuck in the past. A fifth mistake that the Stoics warn against is the tendency to compare yourself to others. In a world where social media often showcases the highlights of other people's lives, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing your own life to the carefully curated images and stories of others. This comparison can lead to feelings of inadequacy, envy, and dissatisfaction as you focus on what you lack rather than on what you have. The Stoics remind us that each person's path is unique and that true contentment comes from focusing on our own journey rather than comparing it to others. Imagine scrolling through social media and seeing friends or acquaintances achieving milestones, traveling to exotic locations, or appearing to live a perfect life. It's natural to feel a twinge of envy or to question whether you're measuring up. But the Stoic approach would be to remind yourself that these images are not the full picture, and that your worth is not determined by how your life compares to others. Instead, focus on your own progress, your own growth, and the things that bring you joy and fulfillment. By avoiding the mistake of comparison, you free yourself from unnecessary anxiety and cultivate a deeper sense of contentment. Another common mistake is overcommitting or spreading yourself too thin. In our fast-paced world, there's often pressure to do more, to be involved in multiple projects, and to say yes to every opportunity that comes your way. While it's important to be engaged and active, overcommitting can lead to burnout, stress, and a decline in the quality of your work and relationships. The Stoics emphasize the importance of focusing on what is essential, of doing fewer things, but doing them well. When you overcommit, you dilute your energy and attention, making it difficult to excel in any one area. Consider how much more effective and fulfilled you might feel if you chose to focus on a few key priorities, rather than trying to juggle too many things at once. The Stoic approach encourages you to be selective with your time and energy, to say no to things that do not align with your values or long-term goals, and to commit fully to the things that truly matter. By doing so, you avoid the mistake of overcommitting and create space for excellence, growth, and fulfillment in the areas that are most important to you. A seventh mistake that can undermine your well-being is the habit of procrastination. It's easy to put off tasks that seem daunting, uncomfortable, or uninteresting, telling yourself that you'll get to them later. But procrastination often leads to increased stress, missed opportunities, and a cycle of guilt and self-doubt. The Stoics believed in the importance of taking action, of facing challenges head-on, and of not delaying what needs to be done. When you procrastinate, you allow fear or discomfort to dictate your actions, which can prevent you from achieving your goals and living up to your potential. Imagine a task that you've been avoiding, perhaps a difficult conversation, a work project, or a personal goal that requires significant effort. The longer you put it off, the more it looms in your mind, creating anxiety and stress. The Stoic approach would be to take action, to break the task down into manageable steps, and to start working on it without delay. By doing so, you avoid the mistake of procrastination and build momentum towards achieving your goals, which in turn fosters a sense of accomplishment and confidence. Another mistake that the Stoics caution against is the tendency to dwell on the past or worry about the future. It's natural to reflect on past experiences or to plan for the future. But when these thoughts consume your mind, they can prevent you from fully engaging with the present moment. The Stoics taught that the present is the only time we truly have, and that by focusing on it, we can live more fully, make better decisions, and experience greater peace and contentment. When you dwell on the past or worry about the future, you miss out on the opportunities and joys that are available to you right now. Consider how much time you might spend replaying past events in your mind, wondering how things could have been different, or worrying about what might happen in the future. These thoughts can create a sense of regret or anxiety, making it difficult to focus on the present. The Stoic approach encourages you to let go of the past, to accept it as it is, and to trust that the future will unfold as it should. By staying present and engaged with the here and now, you avoid the mistake of living in the past or future, and instead, you create a life that is rich with meaning and fulfillment. A ninth mistake that can hinder your growth and well-being is the habit of self-criticism. While self-reflection is an important Stoic practice, it's easy to cross the line into harsh self-judgment, which can erode your self-esteem and confidence. The Stoics believed in the importance of being kind to yourself, of recognizing that you are a work in progress, and of focusing on growth rather than perfection. When you engage in self-criticism, you create a negative internal dialogue that can undermine your motivation and prevent you from reaching your full potential. Imagine how different your life might be if, instead of criticizing yourself for your perceived shortcomings, you approached yourself with the same compassion and understanding that you would offer to a close friend. The Stoic approach encourages you to be patient with yourself, to recognize that growth takes time, and to celebrate your progress rather than dwelling on your mistakes. By avoiding the mistake of self-criticism, you create a positive and supportive internal environment that fosters resilience, confidence, and self-compassion. Another common mistake is the tendency to neglect self-care. In the pursuit of success, productivity, or helping others, it's easy to forget to take care of your own physical, mental, and emotional well-being. The Stoics recognized the importance of maintaining a healthy body and mind, as they are essential for living a virtuous and fulfilling life. When you neglect self-care, you deplete your energy and resilience, making it difficult to navigate life's challenges and to be present for the people and activities that matter most to you. Consider how much more effective and fulfilled you might feel if you made self-care a priority, whether that means getting enough sleep, eating nutritious foods, engaging in regular physical activity, or taking time for relaxation and reflection. The Stoic approach encourages you to view self-care not as a luxury, but as a necessity, one that supports your ability to live in accordance with your values and to contribute meaningfully to the world. By avoiding the mistake of neglecting self-care, you ensure that you have the energy, clarity, and resilience needed to thrive in all areas of your life. Finally, the Stoics caution against the mistake of seeking happiness in external circumstances. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that happiness depends on achieving certain goals, acquiring specific possessions, or receiving recognition from others. But the Stoics teach us that true happiness comes from within, from living in alignment with our values, cultivating inner peace, and finding contentment in the present moment. When you seek happiness in external circumstances, you set yourself up for disappointment, as these circumstances are often beyond your control and can change at any moment. Imagine how liberating it would be to find happiness not in what you have or what you achieve, but in who you are and how you live each day. The Stoic approach encourages you to cultivate inner happiness by focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and attitudes, and by finding joy in the simple, everyday moments of life. By avoiding the mistake of seeking happiness in external circumstances, you create a foundation of lasting contentment that is not dependent on the whims of fortune. As you continue to apply Stoic principles to your life, you'll find that avoiding these common mistakes helps you to live with greater clarity, purpose, and peace. It's not about being perfect or never making a mistake, but about maintaining awareness, learning from your experiences, and making choices that align with your values and goals. By recognizing and avoiding these pitfalls, You free yourself from unnecessary suffering and create a life that is rich in meaning, fulfillment, and contentment. As you navigate the common mistakes that can so easily derail your pursuit of a life well lived, a new challenge presents itself: the inevitable hardships and setbacks that life throws your way. These are the moments that test your resolve, your character, and your very sense of self. But what if, in the face of these challenges, you could act as if nothing could hurt you? Not in a way that denies the reality of pain, disappointment, or loss, but in a way that empowers you to rise above them, to embody a resilience so profound that no external force can shake your inner strength. The Stoics understood that life is unpredictable and often harsh, yet they believed that true strength comes not from avoiding difficulties, but from confronting them with a steady heart and an unyielding spirit. It's not about pretending that you are invincible, but about cultivating a mindset where, no matter what happens, you remain centered, calm, and in control of your reactions. This is the essence of mental toughness, an inner fortress built on the foundations of Stoic wisdom that allows you to face any challenge with courage and composure. Imagine standing in the midst of a storm. The winds howl around you, the rain lashes against your face, and yet you stand firm, unshaken. This is what it means to act as if nothing can hurt you. It's not about denying the storm's existence or its power. It's about refusing to let it penetrate your inner peace. The storm may rage, but your mind remains calm, your spirit unbroken. This is the kind of inner strength that Stoicism teaches, a strength that is not dependent on external circumstances, but on your ability to master your own thoughts and emotions. One of the core principles of Stoic resilience is the idea of focusing on what you can control. When faced with adversity, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the magnitude of the situation, especially when so much of it seems beyond your influence. But the Stoics remind us that our true power lies in our ability to control our own responses, our thoughts, our actions, our attitudes. By narrowing your focus to what is within your control, you reclaim your agency, and with it, the strength to endure whatever comes your way. Consider a situation where you face a significant setback, such as losing a job or going through a difficult breakup. The initial shock and pain can be overwhelming, and it's natural to feel as though your world is crumbling. But the Stoic approach would be to acknowledge the reality of the situation, to allow yourself to feel the emotions that arise, but then to shift your focus to what you can do in response. Perhaps you can start by assessing your options, setting new goals, or reaching out for support. By taking proactive steps, you not only regain a sense of control, but also begin to rebuild your life on your own terms. This focus on what you can control is the first step in acting as if nothing can hurt you, because it empowers you to turn adversity into an opportunity for growth. Another key element of Stoic resilience is the practice of detachment. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent or apathetic, but rather learning to let go of your attachment to specific outcomes or material possessions. The Stoics believed that much of our suffering comes from our attachment to things that are ultimately beyond our control, whether it's the success of a project, the behavior of others, or the acquisition of wealth. By practicing detachment, you free yourself from the fear of loss, because you understand that true strength lies not in what you have, but in who you are. Imagine facing a financial loss, such as an investment gone wrong or an unexpected expense that drains your savings. The immediate reaction might be panic or despair as you grapple with the implications of the loss. But the Stoic approach would be to remind yourself that while money can be lost, your integrity, your wisdom, and your resilience cannot be taken from you. By detaching from the outcome, you maintain your inner peace, knowing that your worth is not tied to material wealth. This mindset allows you to act as if nothing can hurt you, because you recognize that the things that truly matter, your character, your principles, are not at risk. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of cultivating a mindset of amor fati, or the love of fate. This principle teaches us to embrace everything that happens in life, both good and bad, as necessary and meaningful parts of our journey. When you adopt this mindset, you stop resisting the challenges that come your way and instead see them as opportunities to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Amor fati is about accepting life in its entirety, not just the parts that are pleasant or easy. By embracing your fate, you develop the mental toughness to face adversity with grace and dignity. Consider how your perspective might shift if, instead of dreading or resisting the difficulties in your life, you welcomed them as opportunities for growth. Imagine facing a challenging project at work, a health scare, or a difficult conversation, and instead of shrinking from the challenge, you approached it with curiosity and determination. By loving your fate, you turn every obstacle into a stepping stone on your path to greater strength and resilience. This mindset allows you to act as if nothing can hurt you, because you see every challenge as a chance to build your inner strength. Another powerful tool in the Stoic arsenal is the practice of negative visualization. This involves deliberately imagining worst-case scenarios, not to dwell on them, but to prepare yourself mentally and emotionally for whatever may come. By confronting these possibilities in your mind, you reduce the fear and anxiety that often accompany them, making it easier to remain calm and composed if they do occur. Negative visualization helps you to act as if nothing can hurt you, because you've already faced the possibility of loss or failure in your mind, and you know that you have the strength to handle it. Imagine, for example, that you're about to embark on a major life change, such as starting a new business or moving to a new city. The uncertainties and risks can be daunting, and it's natural to feel apprehensive. But by practicing negative visualization, you can mentally prepare yourself for the challenges ahead. You might imagine what it would be like if the business doesn't succeed, if the move doesn't go as planned, or if you encounter unexpected obstacles. By confronting these possibilities in your mind, you build the mental toughness to face them in reality, knowing that no matter what happens, you have the resilience to adapt and persevere. The Stoics also teach us the value of self-discipline in building inner strength. Self-discipline is the foundation of resilience. It's the ability to stay committed to your values and goals, even when the going gets tough. When you cultivate self-discipline, you develop the mental fortitude to resist temptations, to endure hardships, and to keep moving forward, even in the face of adversity. This discipline allows you to act as if nothing can hurt you, because you know that you have the inner strength to stay true to yourself, no matter what challenges arise. Consider how self-discipline might manifest in your daily life, whether it's sticking to a healthy routine, maintaining your focus on a long-term goal, or resisting the urge to react impulsively in difficult situations. Each time you practice self-discipline, you strengthen your resilience, making it easier to face future challenges with confidence and composure. By building this discipline, you create a sense of inner strength that is not easily shaken, allowing you to act as if nothing can hurt you because you are in control of your actions and responses. Another aspect of Stoic resilience is the practice of mindful acceptance. This involves acknowledging the reality of your situation without judgment or resistance and accepting it as it is. Mindful acceptance doesn't mean giving up or resigning yourself to your fate. It means recognizing that some things are beyond your control and choosing to focus on what you can do in the present moment. By practicing mindful acceptance, you free yourself from the anxiety and frustration that come from resisting reality, and you develop the inner peace to act with clarity and purpose, even in difficult circumstances. Imagine a situation where you receive unexpected news, a health diagnosis, a job loss, or a personal setback. The initial reaction might be shock, disbelief, or anger as you grapple with the reality of the situation. But the Stoic approach would be to practice mindful acceptance, to acknowledge the situation as it is without wishing it were different, and to focus on what you can do in response. This acceptance allows you to move forward with a clear mind and a calm heart, knowing that you have the inner strength to face whatever comes your way. By accepting reality as it is, you act as if nothing can hurt you, because you are no longer fighting against the inevitable. The Stoics also emphasize the importance of community and connection in building resilience. While Stoicism encourages self-reliance, it also recognizes that we are social beings who thrive on connection and support. When you face challenges, reaching out to others for support, guidance, or simply to share your experience can strengthen your resilience and help you navigate difficult times with greater ease. By fostering strong relationships and seeking out community, you create a network of support that bolsters your inner strength, allowing you to act as if nothing can hurt you because you know you are not alone. Consider how much more resilient you might feel if you knew you had a trusted network of friends, family, or colleagues who could offer support and encouragement during difficult times. The Stoics understood that connection with others provides us with the strength and perspective needed to face challenges with courage and resilience. By cultivating strong relationships and seeking out community, you build a support system that helps you to remain steady and unshaken, even in the face of adversity. This sense of connection reinforces your inner strength, allowing you to act as if nothing can hurt you because you have the support and resources needed to overcome any challenge. Another important Stoic practice for developing inner strength is the cultivation of gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is lacking or difficult to what is abundant and positive in your life. By practicing gratitude, you train your mind to recognize and appreciate the good, even in the midst of hardship. This shift in perspective helps you to maintain a sense of inner peace and contentment, no matter what challenges you face. By focusing on what you are grateful for, you build the resilience to act as if nothing can hurt you, because you are anchored in a mindset of abundance and positivity. Imagine facing a difficult situation, such as a financial setback or a personal loss, and taking a moment to reflect on the things you are grateful for: your health, your relationships, your skills, or simply the opportunity to learn and grow from the experience. This practice of gratitude helps to ground you in the present moment and to recognize the silver linings in even the darkest of clouds. By cultivating gratitude, you strengthen your inner resilience, allowing you to face challenges with a sense of peace and confidence. This mindset of gratitude enables you to act as if nothing can hurt you, because you are focused on the positive and the possible, rather than the negative and the feared. The Stoics also teach us the value of perseverance in building inner strength. Perseverance is the ability to keep going, even when the path is difficult and the outcome is uncertain. It's about staying committed to your values and goals, no matter how many obstacles you encounter along the way. When you cultivate perseverance, you develop the resilience to act as if nothing can hurt you, because you know that you have the strength to keep moving forward, no matter what challenges arise. Consider a long-term goal that you've been working towards, whether it's advancing in your career, improving your health, or pursuing a personal passion. The journey towards this goal is likely to be filled with setbacks, challenges, and moments of doubt. But the Stoic approach would be to stay committed to your goal, to persevere in the face of adversity, and to view each setback as an opportunity to learn and grow. By cultivating perseverance, you build the mental toughness to stay the course, no matter how difficult the journey may be. This perseverance allows you to act as if nothing can hurt you because you are focused on the long term rather than being discouraged by temporary setbacks. Finally, the Stoics remind us that true inner strength comes from aligning our actions with our values. When you live in accordance with your principles, you create a sense of integrity and authenticity that is unshakable, no matter what challenges you face. This alignment between your values and actions is the foundation of resilience. It gives you the confidence to act with clarity and purpose, even in the most difficult circumstances. By living in alignment with your values, you act as if nothing can hurt you because you are guided by a deep sense of purpose and conviction. Imagine how empowering it would feel to approach each day knowing that your actions reflect your deepest values, that you are living in a way that is true to who you are, regardless of external pressures or challenges. The Stoics teach us that this alignment between values and actions is the key to lasting inner strength. By staying true to your principles, you create a sense of inner peace and confidence that cannot be shaken by external events. This alignment allows you to act as if nothing can hurt you because you are anchored in a deep sense of purpose and integrity. As you continue to apply Stoic principles to your life, you'll find that developing inner strength is not about denying the reality of pain or difficulty, but about cultivating the resilience to face them with courage and composure. It's about building a mindset where, no matter what happens, you remain steady, focused, and true to yourself. By acting as if nothing can hurt you, you create a life that is rich in meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. A life where challenges are not obstacles, but opportunities to grow stronger and wiser. The journey towards inner strength is one of continuous growth and learning. Each challenge you face is an opportunity to practice the principles of Stoicism, to build your resilience, and to deepen your understanding of yourself and the world around you. As you cultivate this inner strength, you'll find that you are more capable, more confident, and more empowered than you ever imagined. By embracing the teachings of Stoicism, you can create a life where you truly act as if nothing can hurt you, because you have the inner strength to face anything that comes your way with grace, courage, and unwavering resolve. As you deepen your understanding of inner strength, learning to act as if nothing can hurt you, a new question naturally arises. What does true success look like when viewed through the lens of Stoic wisdom? In a world where success is often measured by wealth, status, and external achievements, the Stoics offer a more profound perspective, one that challenges the very definition of success itself. What if success isn't about the accolades, the riches, or the recognition, but about something deeper? What if true success means achieving your goals without ever compromising your values? The pursuit of success is a powerful motivator, driving us to set goals, to push ourselves, and to reach for our highest potential. But in the relentless pursuit of success, there's a danger that we might lose sight of what truly matters. How often do we find ourselves making small compromises, justifying actions that don't align with our principles, or sacrificing our well-being in the name of achievement? These compromises may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time they can erode the very foundation of who we are. The Stoics understood that success, when stripped of its ethical grounding, is hollow, an empty victory that may impress the world but leaves the soul wanting. They believed that true success is not just about what you achieve, but how you achieve it. It's about pursuing your goals with integrity, with a steadfast commitment to your values, and with an understanding that your character is your greatest accomplishment. In this sense, true success is not measured by the applause of others, but by the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you have lived in accordance with your principles. Imagine for a moment a world where success is defined not by the number of accolades you accumulate, but by the consistency with which you uphold your values. This redefinition of success is at the heart of Stoic philosophy. It challenges us to seek excellence not just in our achievements, but in our actions and decisions. It invites us to consider the long-term consequences of our choices, to weigh the cost of success against the potential erosion of our character, and to strive for a life that is as rich in virtue as it is in accomplishment. One of the foundational rules for achieving true success without sacrificing your values is to maintain clarity of purpose. The Stoics believed that a clear sense of purpose is essential for guiding your actions and decisions, especially in the face of temptation or adversity. When you have a strong sense of what truly matters to you, whether it's integrity, compassion, or justice, you are less likely to be swayed by short-term gains or external pressures. This clarity acts as a compass, steering you away from compromises that could undermine your values and towards a path of genuine fulfillment. Consider a time when you were faced with a difficult decision, perhaps a choice between advancing your career at the cost of your personal relationships or taking a lucrative opportunity that conflicted with your ethical principles. In such moments, clarity of purpose is what helps you stay true to yourself. It allows you to weigh your options not just in terms of immediate benefits, but in terms of long-term alignment with your values. By maintaining this clarity, you ensure that your pursuit of success is not at the expense of your character, but in harmony with it. Another essential rule is to prioritize integrity over success. The Stoics placed immense value on integrity, on being true to your word, your principles, and your commitments. They believed that no success is worth having if it requires you to betray your own sense of right and wrong. This commitment to integrity serves as a safeguard against the temptation to cut corners, to deceive, or to compromise your values in the pursuit of success. It reminds you that your reputation, your relationships, and your self-respect are far more valuable than any external achievement. Imagine a scenario where you are offered an opportunity that promises significant rewards, but requires you to engage in actions that conflict with your moral beliefs. The temptation to accept may be strong, especially if the opportunity seems too good to pass up. But the Stoic approach would be to prioritize integrity, to consider not just the immediate gains, but the long-term impact on your character and your sense of self. By choosing integrity, you may forgo a temporary success, but you gain something far more valuable, a clear conscience and the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have stayed true to your values. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of practicing self-discipline in the pursuit of success. Self-discipline is the ability to stay focused on your goals, to resist distractions, and to maintain consistency in your actions. It's what enables you to persevere through challenges, to stay committed to your values, and to achieve your goals without cutting corners. In a world that often rewards quick fixes and shortcuts, self-discipline is what sets you apart, allowing you to achieve success that is not just impressive, but sustainable and ethical. Consider how self-discipline might play a role in your daily life, whether it's staying committed to your work, managing your time effectively, or resisting the temptation to take the easy way out. Each time you practice self-discipline, you reinforce your commitment to your values and your goals. This consistency builds not just success, but character, a character that is resilient, reliable, and true to its principles. By practicing self-discipline, you ensure that your pursuit of success is aligned with your highest ideals, rather than driven by impulse or external pressures. Another key rule for achieving true success is to focus on the process rather than the outcome. The Stoics believed that while it's important to set goals and strive for excellence, it's equally important to remain detached from the results. This detachment doesn't mean a lack of care or effort. Rather, it's about understanding that the outcome is often beyond your control and that true success lies in the quality of your actions, not in the results they produce. By focusing on the process, you ensure that your actions are guided by your values, rather than by the desire for external validation. Imagine working towards a goal, such as completing a challenging project or achieving a personal milestone. The pressure to succeed can be intense, and it's easy to become fixated on the end result, whether it's recognition, a promotion, or a sense of accomplishment. But the Stoic approach would be to shift your focus to the process, to the daily actions and decisions that contribute to your success. By doing so, you not only reduce the anxiety and stress associated with the outcome, but you also ensure that your actions remain aligned with your values. This focus on the process allows you to achieve success that is meaningful and fulfilling, regardless of the final outcome. The Stoics also taught the importance of embracing failure as a necessary part of the journey to success. Failure is often seen as something to be avoided at all costs, a sign of weakness or incompetence. But the Stoics viewed failure as an opportunity for growth, learning, and self-improvement. They believed that true success is not defined by the absence of failure, but by the ability to learn from it and to continue moving forward with resilience and determination. By embracing failure, you develop the strength to persevere in the face of adversity and the wisdom to avoid repeating the same mistakes. Consider how you might reframe your relationship with failure, whether it's a setback in your career, a missed opportunity, or a personal disappointment. Instead of viewing failure as a reflection of your worth, the Stoic approach would be to see it as a valuable teacher, offering insights and lessons that contribute to your growth. By embracing failure, you free yourself from the fear of making mistakes and open yourself up to the possibility of achieving true success. Success that is not just about achieving your goals, but about growing into the person you aspire to be. Another essential rule for achieving true success is to cultivate gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have, fostering a sense of contentment and appreciation that enhances your well-being and resilience. The Stoics believed that gratitude is not just a passive feeling, but an active practice, one that involves recognizing the good in every situation, no matter how challenging. By cultivating gratitude, you develop the ability to find joy and fulfillment in the present moment, regardless of external circumstances. Imagine starting each day with a practice of gratitude, reflecting on the people, experiences, and opportunities that bring meaning and richness to your life. This practice not only enhances your sense of well-being, but also grounds you in a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. By cultivating gratitude, you ensure that your pursuit of success is not driven by a constant need for more, but by a deep appreciation for what you already have. This mindset allows you to achieve success that is not only fulfilling, but also sustainable, as it is rooted in a sense of contentment and peace. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of humility in the pursuit of success. Humility is the recognition that no matter how much you achieve, there is always more to learn, more to grow, and more to contribute. It's the understanding that success is not just about personal gain, but about how you use your achievements to make a positive impact on others and the world around you. By cultivating humility, you stay grounded, focused on continuous improvement, and open to the insights and contributions of others. Consider how humility might influence your approach to success, whether it's acknowledging the role of others in your achievements, being open to feedback and criticism, or using your success to uplift and support those around you. The Stoic approach encourages you to view success not as a destination, but as a journey of growth and contribution. By practicing humility, you ensure that your success is not just about personal advancement, but about making a meaningful difference in the lives of others. This perspective allows you to achieve true success, success that is not only impressive, but also deeply impactful and aligned with your values. Another key rule for achieving true success is to maintain a sense of perspective. The Stoics believed that true wisdom comes from understanding the bigger picture, recognizing that life is short, that material wealth is fleeting, and that true happiness is found in living in accordance with your values. This perspective helps you to stay grounded, to avoid getting caught up in the pursuit of superficial success, and to focus on what truly matters. By maintaining a sense of perspective, you ensure that your actions are guided by wisdom rather than by the desire for short-term gains. Imagine how your life might change if you regularly reflected on the impermanence of life and the importance of living with purpose. The Stoic approach encourages you to view each day as an opportunity to align your actions with your values, to contribute to the well-being of others, and to make the most of the time you have. By maintaining this perspective, you avoid the mistake of chasing after superficial success and instead focus on achieving success that is meaningful, lasting, and aligned with your highest ideals. The Stoics also taught the importance of resilience in the pursuit of success. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to stay committed to your goals, and to keep moving forward even in the face of adversity. It's the understanding that success is not a straight line, but a journey filled with challenges, obstacles, and detours. By cultivating resilience, you develop the strength to persevere, to learn from your experiences, and to continue striving for excellence, no matter what challenges arise. Consider how resilience might play a role in your pursuit of success, whether it's staying motivated during difficult times, adapting to changing circumstances, or finding new ways to achieve your goals when your original plans don't work out. The Stoic approach encourages you to view setbacks as opportunities for growth and to use them as stepping stones on your path to success. By cultivating resilience, you ensure that your pursuit of success is not only tenacious, but also adaptable and wise. This resilience allows you to achieve true success, success that is not just about reaching your goals, but about growing stronger and wiser along the way. Finally, the Stoics remind us that true success is about living in alignment with your values. This means making decisions that reflect your principles, even when it's difficult or unpopular. It means staying true to yourself, no matter what external pressures or temptations you face. When you live in alignment with your values, you create a sense of inner peace and confidence that is unshakable, no matter what challenges you encounter. This alignment is the foundation of true success, a success that is not measured by external achievements, but by the integrity and authenticity with which you live your life. Imagine the sense of fulfillment that comes from knowing that every decision you make, every action you take, is guided by your deepest values. The Stoic approach encourages you to live with this sense of alignment, to ensure that your pursuit of success is not just about what you achieve, but about how you achieve it. By living in alignment with your values, you create a life that is rich in meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. A life where true success is not something you chase, but something you embody every day. As you continue to apply Stoic principles to your pursuit of success, you'll find that achieving true success is not just about reaching your goals, but about doing so in a way that is aligned with your values and true to who you are. It's about balancing the drive to succeed with the wisdom to know what truly matters, and the integrity to stay true to your principles, no matter what challenges arise. By following these Stoic rules, you can achieve success that is not only impressive, but also deeply fulfilling, a success that reflects the best of who you are and contributes to the greater good. The journey towards true success is one of continuous growth, learning, and self-discovery. Each step you take, each decision you make, is an opportunity to practice the principles of Stoicism, to refine your understanding of success, and to ensure that your actions are aligned with your values. As you cultivate this mindset, you'll find that true success is not something you achieve once and for all, but something you create every day, through the choices you make, the actions you take, and the values you uphold. By embracing the teachings of Stoicism, you can create a life where true success is not only possible, but inevitable, because it is a natural outcome of living with integrity, purpose, and wisdom. As you navigate the journey of achieving true success without sacrificing your values, you'll inevitably encounter adversity, those moments when life seems to throw you off course, testing your resolve and challenging everything you've worked for. But what if these struggles, rather than being obstacles, could be transformed into the very fuel that propels you forward? What if adversity, instead of breaking you down, could actually build you up, making you stronger, wiser, and more resilient? The Stoics believed that within every challenge lies an opportunity, a chance to grow, to refine your character, and to emerge from the experience stronger than before. This perspective doesn't just make adversity bearable, it makes it meaningful. It's about learning to see your struggles not as setbacks, but as steps forward, as necessary trials that shape you into the person you are meant to become. Imagine the feeling of facing a difficult situation, perhaps a failure, a loss, or a profound disappointment. The weight of it presses down on you, and it's tempting to see it as the end of the road, as proof that you've been defeated. But the Stoics invite you to look at it differently. They ask you to consider, what if this challenge is not a dead end, but a turning point? What if this struggle is precisely what you need to unlock a deeper strength within you, a strength you didn't even know you had? The first Stoic strategy for turning struggles into strength is to embrace the principle of amor fati, love of fate. This isn't about passive resignation, but about actively accepting your circumstances, no matter how difficult, and finding meaning in them. Amor fati teaches you to see every event in your life, including adversity, as necessary and valuable. When you embrace this mindset, you stop resisting what is and start working with it. You begin to see adversity as an essential part of your journey, something that shapes you and brings you closer to your true self. Consider a time when something didn't go as planned. Perhaps a project failed, a relationship ended, or you faced an unexpected challenge. The initial reaction might be frustration, anger, or despair. But with amor fati, you shift your perspective. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" you ask, "What can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to grow stronger?" By embracing your fate, you turn adversity into a powerful tool for personal growth. Another key Stoic strategy is to focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot. This is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, rooted in the understanding that while you cannot control external events, you can control your response to them. When you encounter adversity, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the things you cannot change. But the Stoics remind you to focus on your own actions, thoughts, and attitudes. These are the things within your power, and they are what ultimately determine how you navigate challenges. Imagine facing a significant setback, such as losing your job or encountering a major health issue. The situation itself may be beyond your control, but how you respond to it is entirely within your power. You can choose to dwell on what you've lost, or you can focus on what you can do next, whether it's seeking new opportunities, finding ways to improve your situation, or simply maintaining a positive mindset. By focusing on what you can control, you reclaim your agency and turn adversity into a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. The Stoics also encourage you to practice negative visualization, a technique that involves imagining the worst-case scenario as a way to prepare yourself mentally and emotionally for whatever may come. This practice isn't about dwelling on negativity, but about building resilience by confronting your fears head-on. When you visualize potential challenges or losses, you desensitize yourself to the fear and anxiety they might otherwise provoke. This, in turn, makes it easier to handle adversity when it arises because you've already faced it in your mind. Consider how negative visualization might apply to your life. Perhaps you're worried about a significant change, such as a move, a new job, or a major decision. By taking the time to imagine the worst possible outcomes, you prepare yourself for those possibilities, reducing the fear and uncertainty they might bring. This doesn't mean you expect or want these outcomes to happen, but by visualizing them, you equip yourself with the mental strength to handle them if they do. This practice turns potential adversity into an opportunity to build resilience and strength. Another strategy is to practice the art of reframing. Reframing involves changing the way you perceive a situation so that what once seemed negative or challenging becomes a source of strength or opportunity. The Stoics believed that your perception of events is more important than the events themselves. By choosing to see adversity in a different light, you can transform it into something positive and empowering. Imagine facing a situation where you feel out of control. Perhaps a business venture isn't going as planned, or you're struggling with personal issues. Instead of seeing these challenges as failures, the Stoic approach would be to reframe them as opportunities for growth, learning, and self-improvement. What lessons can you take from this experience? How can this challenge help you become more resilient, more resourceful, or more compassionate? By reframing your perception, you shift your focus from what's going wrong to what you can gain from the experience. The Stoics also teach the importance of perseverance, staying committed to your path even when the going gets tough. Perseverance is about refusing to give up in the face of adversity, about continuing to move forward despite the obstacles in your way. This doesn't mean stubbornly pushing through without reflection, but rather maintaining a steady course while adapting and learning from the challenges you encounter. Consider how perseverance might apply to your life. Perhaps you're working towards a long-term goal, such as completing a degree, starting a business, or achieving a personal milestone. Along the way, you're likely to encounter setbacks, frustrations, and moments of doubt. The Stoic approach would be to keep going, to stay focused on your goal while being flexible enough to adjust your methods if needed. Each time you persevere through adversity, you build inner strength and resilience, making it easier to face future challenges with confidence and determination. Another Stoic strategy is to detach from the outcome. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care about the results of your efforts, but it does mean that you don't allow those results to define your worth or happiness. The Stoics believed that true strength comes from focusing on your actions rather than being overly attached to the outcome. When you detach from the outcome, you free yourself from the anxiety and stress that often accompany the pursuit of success. Imagine working towards a significant goal, such as securing a promotion, winning a competition, or completing a challenging project. The desire for success can create pressure and stress, especially if you become overly attached to the outcome. The Stoic approach would be to focus on doing your best, on putting in the effort and attention that the task requires, without becoming obsessed with the final result. By detaching from the outcome, you maintain your inner peace and resilience, regardless of whether the external outcome meets your expectations. The Stoics also encourage you to practice gratitude, even in the midst of adversity. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, fostering a sense of abundance and contentment. When you practice gratitude, you're better able to see the good in even the most challenging situations. This doesn't mean ignoring the difficulties you face, but it does mean recognizing the positive aspects of your life, which can provide strength and perspective during tough times. Consider how gratitude might play a role in your life when facing adversity. Perhaps you're going through a difficult period, such as dealing with a health issue, a financial setback, or a personal loss. By taking the time to reflect on what you're grateful for, whether it's the support of loved ones, your own resilience, or the lessons you're learning, you create a mindset that helps you navigate the challenges with greater strength and optimism. Gratitude turns adversity into a source of strength by reminding you of the positives that still exist in your life. Another key Stoic strategy is to embrace the present moment. The Stoics believed that the present is the only time you truly have, and that by focusing on it, you can live more fully and respond to challenges more effectively. When you face adversity, it's easy to get caught up in regrets about the past or worries about the future. But by bringing your attention back to the present, you can approach the situation with clarity and calm. Imagine facing a challenging situation that triggers anxiety or fear, such as a difficult conversation, a major life change, or an uncertain future. The Stoic approach would be to ground yourself in the present moment, to focus on what you can do right now, rather than getting lost in what-ifs or regrets. By embracing the present, you reduce the power of fear and anxiety, allowing you to respond to adversity with a clear mind and a steady heart. The Stoics also teach the value of community and connection in overcoming adversity. While Stoicism emphasizes self-reliance, it also recognizes that we are social beings who thrive on connection and support. When you face challenges, reaching out to others for support, guidance, or simply to share your experience can strengthen your resilience and help you navigate difficult times with greater ease. Consider how much stronger you might feel if you knew you had a network of friends, family, or colleagues who could offer support and encouragement during tough times. The Stoics understood that connection with others provides strength and perspective needed to face challenges with courage and resilience. By fostering strong relationships and seeking out community, you build a support system that helps you to remain steady and unshaken, even in the face of adversity. Another important Stoic strategy is to practice self-compassion. Self-compassion involves treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a close friend who is struggling. The Stoics believed that while it's important to hold yourself to high standards, it's equally important to be gentle with yourself when you fall short. Self-compassion allows you to acknowledge your mistakes and failures without being consumed by self-criticism. Imagine facing a situation where you've made a mistake or experienced a failure. The temptation might be to criticize yourself harshly, to dwell on what you did wrong, or to feel unworthy. But the Stoic approach would be to practice self-compassion, to recognize that mistakes are a natural part of the human experience, to learn from them, and to treat yourself with kindness as you move forward. By practicing self-compassion, you turn adversity into an opportunity for growth and self-improvement, rather than a source of self-doubt. The Stoics also encourage the practice of mindfulness, particularly in how you manage your thoughts and emotions during adversity. Mindfulness involves being aware of your thoughts, feelings, and sensations in the present moment without judgment. By practicing mindfulness, you create a space between yourself and your reactions, allowing you to respond to adversity with greater wisdom and clarity. Consider how mindfulness might help you navigate a challenging situation, such as dealing with stress at work, managing a difficult relationship, or coping with uncertainty. By being mindful of your thoughts and emotions, you can observe them without being swept away by them. This allows you to respond to adversity with a calm and centered mind, making it easier to find solutions and to maintain your inner peace. Another key Stoic strategy is to cultivate a sense of purpose. The Stoics believed that having a clear sense of purpose provides direction and meaning in life, especially during difficult times. When you know what you stand for and what you're working towards, it's easier to navigate adversity because you have a guiding star that keeps you focused and motivated. Imagine facing a challenging period in your life, such as a career transition, a personal loss, or a major life change. The uncertainty and difficulty can feel overwhelming, but having a sense of purpose can provide a steady foundation. Whether it's a commitment to personal growth, a dedication to helping others, or a desire to live according to your values, your purpose gives you strength and direction. By cultivating a sense of purpose, you turn adversity into an opportunity to deepen your commitment to what truly matters. The Stoics also teach the importance of acceptance, accepting life as it is, with all its challenges and imperfections. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or resigning yourself to fate, but rather it means acknowledging reality and working within it. When you accept what is, you free yourself from the struggle against what you cannot change, and you focus your energy on what you can do. Imagine a situation where you're facing a difficult reality, such as a chronic illness, a financial setback, or a personal loss. The temptation might be to resist, to wish things were different, or to dwell on what could have been. But the Stoic approach would be to practice acceptance, to acknowledge the reality of the situation, to let go of the need for it to be different, and to focus on what you can do moving forward. By practicing acceptance, you turn adversity into a source of strength, allowing you to face challenges with greater peace and resilience. Finally, the Stoics remind us that adversity is temporary and that with time and effort you can overcome it. The Stoics believed that life is constantly changing and that no situation, no matter how difficult, lasts forever. By maintaining this perspective, you can navigate adversity with hope and determination, knowing that you have the strength to endure and the resilience to thrive. Consider how this perspective might help you during tough times. Perhaps you're going through a difficult period that feels overwhelming and endless. The Stoic approach would be to remind yourself that this too shall pass, that adversity is a part of life's ebb and flow, and that you have the strength to get through it. By maintaining this perspective, you turn adversity into a temporary challenge rather than a permanent obstacle, allowing you to move forward with hope and resilience. As you continue to apply these Stoic strategies, you'll find that adversity is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced as a powerful teacher. Each challenge you face is an opportunity to build strength, to deepen your wisdom, and to refine your character. By turning struggles into sources of strength, you create a life that is rich in meaning, purpose, and resilience. A life where adversity is not a roadblock, but a pathway to true success. As you learn to turn adversity into a source of strength, you begin to see how challenges can forge resilience and wisdom. But even as you build this inner strength, another more subtle set of challenges emerges, emotional traps that can derail your progress, cloud your judgment, and pull you away from your values. These emotional pitfalls can be as formidable as any external obstacle, quietly undermining your well-being and leading you astray from the path of true success. Yet, with the guidance of Stoic philosophy, you can recognize these traps for what they are and avoid them, maintaining your composure, clarity, and integrity. Imagine navigating your day, carrying the strength you've cultivated through Stoic practice, only to find yourself caught off guard by a wave of emotion, anger, jealousy, or fear. These emotions can be powerful, overwhelming even, and if left unchecked, they can steer you away from the calm, rational mindset that Stoicism encourages. But what if you could see these emotional traps before they ensnare you? What if, instead of being controlled by them, you could observe them, understand them, and choose a different response? The first emotional trap that Stoicism helps you avoid is anger. Anger is a natural emotion, but it's also one of the most destructive if not managed properly. The Stoics recognized that anger often arises from a sense of injustice or frustration, but they also understood that it rarely leads to productive outcomes. Anger clouds your judgment, escalates conflicts, and can lead to actions you later regret. The Stoic approach to anger is not to suppress it, but to recognize it as an emotion that arises from your interpretation of events, rather than from the events themselves. Consider a time when you felt a surge of anger. Perhaps someone treated you unfairly, or a situation didn't go as planned. The immediate reaction might be to lash out, to express your anger in a way that feels justified in the moment. But the Stoics would advise you to pause, to take a step back, and consider whether your anger is truly warranted, and whether it will lead to a constructive outcome. By doing so, you create space between the emotion and your response, allowing you to choose a more measured and effective course of action. This approach helps you avoid the trap of letting anger dictate your actions, preserving your peace of mind and your relationships. Another emotional trap that Stoicism helps you avoid is envy. Envy is the feeling of discontent or resentment that arises when you compare yourself to others and perceive them as having something you lack. In a world where social media often presents a curated image of success and happiness, it's easy to fall into the trap of envy, constantly comparing yourself to others and feeling inadequate as a result. The Stoics teach that envy is rooted in a misunderstanding of what truly matters in life, namely, that external success and possessions are not the key to happiness. Imagine scrolling through social media and seeing posts from friends or acquaintances who seem to have it all, whether it's a dream job, a perfect relationship, or a luxurious lifestyle. The temptation to compare yourself to them and feel envious can be strong. But the Stoic approach would be to remind yourself that true happiness comes from within, from living in accordance with your values, rather than from external achievements. By focusing on your own path and your own growth, you can avoid the trap of envy and instead cultivate a sense of contentment and gratitude for what you have. Fear is another powerful emotion that can easily become a trap if not managed wisely. Fear often arises from uncertainty or the anticipation of potential harm, and while it can serve as a protective mechanism, it can also paralyze you, preventing you from taking necessary risks or making important decisions. The Stoics recognized that fear is often based on imagined scenarios rather than reality, and that by confronting your fears, you can reduce their power over you. Consider a situation where you're faced with a difficult decision, perhaps taking a new job, moving to a new city, or ending a relationship. The fear of the unknown, of what might go wrong, can be overwhelming, leading you to avoid taking action altogether. The Stoic approach would be to examine your fears rationally, to distinguish between what is within your control and what is not, and to focus on what you can do to manage the situation. By confronting your fears head-on, you reduce their hold on you and avoid the trap of letting fear dictate your choices. Another emotional trap that Stoicism helps you avoid is guilt. Guilt is a feeling of remorse or responsibility for a perceived wrongdoing, and while it can be a valuable emotion that prompts you to make amends, it can also become a burden if it lingers or is disproportionate to the situation. The Stoics believed that while it's important to acknowledge your mistakes and learn from them, it's equally important to forgive yourself and move forward. Imagine a situation where you've made a mistake, whether it's a professional error, a failed relationship, or a broken promise. The feeling of guilt can be intense, weighing you down and affecting your ability to move on. The Stoic approach would be to reflect on the situation, to understand what went wrong and how you can avoid making the same mistake in the future, and then to release the guilt and focus on what you can do now. By doing so, you avoid the trap of being consumed by guilt, allowing you to learn from your experiences without being held back by them. Sadness is another emotion that, if not managed, can become an emotional trap. Sadness is a natural response to loss, disappointment, or difficult circumstances, but when it lingers or deepens into despair, it can prevent you from living fully and enjoying the present moment. The Stoics acknowledged that sadness is a part of life, but they also believed that you have the power to shape your response to it. Imagine experiencing a loss, whether it's the loss of a loved one, a job, or a cherished dream. The sadness that follows can be profound, and it's important to honor that emotion and allow yourself to grieve. But the Stoic approach would be to gradually shift your focus from the loss to what remains, whether it's the memories, the lessons learned, or the new opportunities that await you. By doing so, you avoid the trap of letting sadness define your life, and instead find a way to move forward with hope and resilience. The Stoics also warn against the emotional trap of shame. Shame is a feeling of humiliation or distress caused by the perception of having done something wrong or dishonorable. While shame can prompt self-reflection and growth, it can also become paralyzing if it's internalized or blown out of proportion. The Stoics believed that while it's important to take responsibility for your actions, it's equally important to recognize that your worth is not defined by a single mistake or flaw. Consider a time when you felt ashamed. Perhaps you acted in a way that was out of character, or you failed to meet your own standards. The feeling of shame can be overwhelming, leading you to withdraw or to judge yourself harshly. The Stoic approach would be to reflect on the situation, to understand why you acted as you did, and to commit to doing better in the future. By recognizing that everyone makes mistakes and that your worth is not diminished by them, you can avoid the trap of shame and move forward with self-compassion and integrity. Finally, the Stoics help you avoid the emotional trap of regret. Regret is the feeling of sorrow or disappointment over something that has happened or something you did or didn't do. While regret can provide valuable insights and prompt you to make better choices in the future, it can also become a source of ongoing pain if you dwell on it excessively. The Stoics believed that since the past cannot be changed, it's important to focus on the present and the future, using regret as a guide rather than a burden. Imagine looking back on your life and feeling regret over missed opportunities, unfulfilled dreams, or relationships that didn't work out. The temptation might be to replay these moments in your mind, wishing you had acted differently. But the Stoic approach would be to acknowledge the regret, to learn from it, and then to let it go, focusing instead on what you can do now to create the life you want. By doing so, you avoid the trap of living in the past, allowing you to embrace the present and the future with a clear mind and an open heart. As you continue to integrate Stoic principles into your life, you'll find that these emotional traps lose their power over you. By recognizing and understanding these emotions, anger, envy, fear, guilt, sadness, shame, and regret, you can choose how to respond to them rather than being controlled by them. This awareness allows you to navigate life with greater clarity, resilience, and peace, ensuring that your emotions serve as guides rather than as obstacles on your path to true success and fulfillment. The journey towards emotional mastery is not about suppressing or denying your emotions, but about understanding them, learning from them, and responding to them with wisdom and grace. Each emotion, when approached with Stoic guidance, becomes an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. By avoiding these emotional traps, you create a life that is not only successful in the external sense, but also rich in inner peace, purpose, and meaning. A life where you are in control of your emotions, rather than being controlled by them. As we come to the end of this journey through the wisdom of Stoicism, it's clear that the principles of this ancient philosophy offer timeless guidance for navigating the complexities of modern life. Whether it's transforming adversity into strength, achieving success without compromising your values, or avoiding the emotional traps that can derail your progress, Stoicism provides a powerful toolkit for living a life of purpose, resilience, and inner peace. But the journey doesn't end here. The insights we've explored are not just ideas to ponder, but practices to live by. The real transformation happens when you apply these principles daily, in the face of challenges both big and small. Every moment is an opportunity to practice Stoic wisdom, to choose reason over impulse, to embrace adversity as a chance to grow, and to align your actions with your values. As you move forward, I encourage you to take these lessons to heart. Start with small steps, perhaps by observing your reactions to daily frustrations or by setting aside time each day for reflection and gratitude. Over time, these practices will become second nature, helping you build the resilience, clarity, and peace of mind that Stoicism promises. Remember, Stoicism is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about striving to be a little better today than you were yesterday, about facing life's challenges with courage and grace, and about finding fulfillment in the pursuit of virtue. So, as you continue your journey, let Stoic wisdom be your guide, a steadfast companion in your quest for a life well lived. Now, I'd love to hear from you. How has Stoicism impacted your life? Have you encountered any challenges in applying these principles, or have you discovered new strengths along the way? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. I'm excited to continue this conversation with you. And if you found this content valuable, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you'll be the first to know when new videos are released, helping you stay on track in your journey toward a Stoic-inspired life. Join our community of like-minded individuals who are committed to living with purpose, resilience, and wisdom. Let's continue to learn and grow together.